saying con.
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 C-O-N.
Con.
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 Con. Con. Con.
There's 3 minutes wasted.
Okay, let's we'll buckle in, I guess.
Buckle up.
Welcome to the Higher Energy Superpower. This is episode 34 of the Turbo Duo Cast. I am your host, Salvatore Mata, and to my far left,
Way left.
is my brother from another game show lover. He is the oral assassin. He puts the ass in classic gaming. It's Trenton E. Wright the Third, Esquire.
I'm on the far left, but I'm always right. Baby.
You're very special, and you're very important. You're very integral to this podcast, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad you're here to share. And also returning the not-so-special guest, we have returning the manly manager.
What can Brown do for you?
His name is a lie. It's Ryan Brown. Welcome, Ryan. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You always boost our show about 7 levels, so it's important that we bring you back because you bring a lot of flavor, to the party. So
I mean, it's not that important.
Well,
So I'm like gravy. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
also brown.
yeah. We can also speak into the microphone too. That
Oh,
works.
sorry. It's like gravy. That's also brown.
Well, your shirt is brown.
It looked like doo-doo.
I just hope your pants aren't brown.
Nope, we're good.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here.
So he says.
We also have the last but definitely not the least, because he makes his presence known.
I mean, he's the least.
He's the least in stature, but he's the most in heart.
Yeah,
and that
he's
is
the superstar.
the Salvatore Superstar Soccer Mata Turbo Duo and a Half. Welcome back to the show, my son, my friend,
Yo, you my
Thank you very
son.
much.
with the gold-plated microphone.
Yeah, the Zing U MB800.
It actually says Zing You on
It does.
No, I know.
All right, so let's get into this.
That's
guys.
how you know it's top quality.
It is the second of our deuce of conventions that we do, and it's the Retro Game Con at the On Center in Syracuse. So this is our preview. We're recording this actually the night before,
A preview.
and so we're gonna kind of play it the same way we did with the Retro World Expo, which Ryan had a hand in actually putting on and did a great job. So again, shout out back to that episode. Great job by you guys to put that together and have it go off what seemed to be so seamless. In my opinion, that show was the best it's ever been.
I mean, that's Chris. That is 110% Chris. Chris and Lance really bust their butt to get that show to where it is and how it's grown and grown well. Because he's one of those people, he just really knows how to just listen to the vendors and listen to the people going, and he takes the feedback really and just really works well on boosting that convention to get it better and bigger every year.
It just seems so smooth. It just seemed like you guys, you kind of have that groove now where you just kind of know what to do. You know the beats. You know where everything's got to go. And in terms of timing, they even have the panels that are going on upstairs, which I kind of want to go to one next year. I mean, we usually are there and we're hunting, but it'd be nice maybe not to be so centered on the the used gaming market so much, and maybe try to dig in a little bit. It would have been fun to see our boy Kitzrow, what's his first name?
Oh, Tim
Kitzrow, maybe to see the NBA Jam panel or whatever it was, and just kind of get a little bit out of from these guys and just kind of see one of those. Trenton's shaking his head no, but
Nah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
we're too busy. We're too busy on the show floor.
Yeah,
I mean we're there 4 hours, and it's almost not enough time, and then it's
we were there for about 7 hours. This
no,
time.
I know. I'm not saying usually it's 4 hours of looking around.
Well, we don't have a 3-year-old anymore. He's now 8 years old, so it's
I know. It's just not gonna happen. I appreciate the effort though.
All right. Well, one can hope.
Yeah.
One can hope.
I mean, at least for me, I don't do too much on the convention side. I just kind of run the booth for my store, Retro Games Plus.
You're like the Toe Booth Willie of the Retro World Expo. You're running the booth.
Yeah, I run the booth, and I mean, I've been doing it for a few years now, and yeah, I mean, I've got it down pretty pat now, and
Yeah, you sell games, they give you money, and everyone's happy.
Try to be as fair with everyone there as I can, and try to make it so that they can leave with a smile rather than some of the other vendors
Unless you're the meatball.
who are sweaty.
I wonder if the meatball is going to be at Retro Game Con. I really do.
It's a long way
I
to
kind
travel.
of, I kind of hope he is. Not that I'll talk to him.
Should we bring him meatball?
We might want to bring him
Alone?
meatballs.
No, alone.
Well, he
The
doesn't-
lonely meatball.
He doesn't know he's the meatball yet.
We gotta give it to him by hand, just sweaty.
Just a sweaty hand.
Here you go.
I don't think he'll take it.
No pre-context, just
You
hi,
don't
how are
have
ya?
any spaghetti or some bread you can put on with that?
Just a meatball.
It's seasoned with my tears.
Well, so you guys did a great job. So congratulations again to you guys. Did they have an after party this year? Because I know in years past you guys have had like an after party thing.
I honestly don't know.
Not that I stay out that late anymore. I'm
so
not that
tired.
I'm not that young anymore.
Yeah, I'm so burnt out, like from running the booth all day for the store. It's like when that time at 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm going home and sleeping.
I'm pretty sure they do.
But yeah, I think they do. So, I
like-
don't know if they have a DJ anymore. I don't know like if that still goes, but
Yeah, they had one during the day, like on the other side of the
Yeah.
floor. I know Retro Game Con does like same kind of thing. They have like an after party thing.
kind enough to make me go deaf throughout most of the venue.
Yeah. Well, the one year this little guy was wigging out on some of that video game electronica, and he was just. We should probably put the video in here.
What did I do
from a few
when I was
years
You
playing?
were just going crazy on the dance floor, just doing all your type of moves.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
put that in here because I'll get so embarrassed.
Oh my gosh! Then we gotta
Well,
put it.
it's already on the internet.
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, we're just gonna repost
Wait,
it.
it is? It
Yeah.
is? Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure
No.
Don't worry, nobody's looking at it.
Good.
it has 11 views.
Yeah.
What? Yay.
What?
Happy about not getting play. So yeah, so we're gonna be going up to Syracuse and checking out the On Center, and they kind of have a similar setup. They've got the vendors out there on the show floor, and then they have an arcade setup that's usually behind there.
I play
They have
pinball.
the Tandy and the IBM computers.
I
also
know.
that, where you could print on them too. On the
Did they have that last time?
yeah.
We have.
Well, that was what 3 years ago.
So
or something?
we haven't been to Syracuse since 2019. So we're going 3 years here as far as like.
it's a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to happen, to be quite honest with you, because one of our good friends was going to be having her baby shower tomorrow, and she ended up going into labor, early, and so, anyways, that's a whole nother story, but we made it happen, and we're going to be able to go, so that's really, really fun. So we're going to get it started with, I wanted to ask you guys, I know that this is a preview of kind of what we're looking for at the show, but
You look a hooin'.
I want to know, just again, we want to check in with the viewers. We want to let them know what's going on with the Turbo Duo. So, what are you guys playing right now? Are you still playing Snood over there on DS?
No, actually, I haven't played it too much this week, but last week I was playing it a good amount. What is it? Miami Shakedown. The
Hawaii Shakedown Hawaii.
Yeah. Shakedown Hawaii. For some reason, I was calling Miami. I was playing that. That was a really fun game.
It is a really
It's
fun
like
game.
a 8-bit, 16-bit GTA in a way, and it's kind of cool because you're the guy and you work for it's like he has like a video store and like everyone's going to digital. So that your whole thing is you have to.
He's like a mobster.
Yeah.
Who had like a conglomerate that was based on things of technology that was from 1985.
Yeah, it's like basically a Best Buy, and everyone's doing digital now, and like so you got to start taking out the delivery trucks so people will go to your store and start buying stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I compare it to a game like Retro City Rampage, which came out several years ago, but it has that style. And I played that for a little bit, but it didn't scratch the itch.
Isn't that like a River City Ransom game? Retro City Rampage?
Retro City Rampage is more like a GTA. Right?
Oh,
would
it
you,
is?
Would you say that?
Yeah,
more
it's
like
more-
a top-down GTA.
Yeah, it's a top
Oh, it
down,
is?
but
Oh.
it is in that-
Pixel art almost.
Yeah, but the sprites are very similar to River City Ransom.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that little it's not chibi, but you know what I mean. Like where like big head, little body.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the shakedown game kind of appeals to me more. I don't know why. I think it's got more oomph, like where if you got a bat and you're wailing on a dude, it's like
there's more like weight to it,
and you just see the particles of like things flying when you're smashing them, so you're getting that feedback, and you're seeing the splendor of the graphics as it's exploding, but it's got that 8-bit style which is appealing to all of us. So
and then actually the other game, so that was when like the Wii U shop was going to be closing, so we had to
see, I was your savior on that one. You got in.
Yeah, so we added a bunch of money.
Got some moolah.
And then so the other one I downloaded was the Sturmfront Mutant War. Remember I was telling you about that one? It's actually it's a pretty quick game.
Is it a shooter? What is it?
It was like $8. It's like a Total Carnage Smash TV.
Oh, that's right. You were mentioning you sent me pictures.
Yeah, it's only one player though, but like it's fun. Soundtracks like just like heavy metal tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun game. Lots of explosions, lots of blowing like aliens up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun. You could probably beat it in like a half hour or so.
Okay.
But I keep playing the levels like over because you play it on medium and then you can try it on hard.
Now, how do you feel about it compared to, let's say, like Total Carnage or?
It's way better than Total Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's modern, so it just plays way better.
Yeah, but sometimes those modern games aren't necessarily.
It definitely plays way better. You can see, they borrowed from the idea and then like took it to the next level.
Okay. Cool.
It was only like $8. Yeah, it was like $8. It's a fun game. I
Nice.
definitely recommend it if you have some money on the. I think it's
now is it just on the Wii U or is it?
I think it's on PS4 and all the other ones.
Oh, so it's like pretty.
It's on the
pretty
Switch.
easy.
I think it's on the Switch too. The Switch store.
Okay, there was a game I know because I bought a bunch of games just the other day. PlayStation Store had a sale, and so I picked up a bunch of them. And there was this game that I'd never heard of or seen before. And it was like almost like a Contra hardcore game. Let's see, Blazing Chrome. Have you guys heard of this game?
Yeah, I actually just got that on Switch physically.
Did you?
And it is.
It looks just like Contra hardcore.
The physical is obnoxiously expensive, but yeah.
So of course you bought it.
Is that like a limited run games or something?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, I get their model, but at the same point, I'm like, just release the game.
Yeah. But I mean, Contra Hardcore is going for what, $80?
Yeah, like
$100
complete. Yeah.
So I mean, higher than that.
It was.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, it does look exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if you don't want to spend that amount of money, PlayStation Store has it for, I think it was like $8.
Oh yeah, no, that game is so. I would pay $20 for that game. It's so good digitally. It's just.
Yeah.
It's.
So, I'm not sure if this episode will come out before that sale's over, but if it's still on sale, guys, I mean, check that out. If you want to get that experience, but you don't want to pay the hardcore price,
or even if it's not on sale, just put it on. I mean, PlayStation and Switch
the wish list.
The wish list, and they'll email you, which is great. So you can get them because especially with the holidays coming up, they'll do sales, and you can get like these games for like, especially if it's an indie title, like 80% off sometimes. It's great.
Yeah, and
you can just find cool games that way.
Yep.
Nice.
Cool. So for me, kind of leading in as a that conversation about the PlayStation. So one of the big problems I have with like the PlayStation ecosystem is that it's really difficult to play the games if you're not in front of your TV. And so I used to use my Vita to play with the PS4, and there was some limited functionality with the PS3, but it just always seemed kind of laggy. It didn't really work that well. And so I just kind of popped on the Googles, and I was just looking into it, and I was like, is there any kind of remote play I can do with the PS5 with the Vita, let's just say. And sadly that's not available, but you can use your phone with the PS5 or now the PS4, and there's a remote play app to be able to play games. So I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. Now I don't want to play Jedi Fallen Order on it because I want to experience that game on the big screen. Mm-hmm. But smaller titles, or like this Blazing Chrome one, or maybe an older title, like I bought what's the game, the Ninja Warriors. I bought that. That's a perfect game for like a phone, right? And you can link up your DualSense or DualShock controller to it. So one of the games that I've owned for probably a year now, when I bought it on a sale or whatever, PlayStation does a really good job with their sales. I mean, they do a lot of sales, and you can get a bunch of games cheap if you're okay with the digital version. And so, of course, I'm into RPGs, and one of the classic RPGs that I really love to play is Ys. I've played through 1, 2, and 3. And so, what's going on here? There you go. Don't move. Keep it right there the whole time. So I started Ys Origins, which is the prequel to Ys 1 and 2, on the remote app. And it's just this fun dungeon crawler type of a game. Almost think of like a Diablo Light, just kind of easy, grindy sort of game, where you're going through floors. There's this whole tower system, and you're fighting bosses as you're going up the tower to try to save the 2 deities or whatever it is. But it's just one of those simple games where you're just hacking and slashing, building your levels, and going up. And I like the idea of doing that while I'm sitting in bed. That's what's so appealing about the Switch for me, is that you can pick up the Switch and you can play a game. It doesn't matter what it is, and that's why the Switch is so successful and so popular, which is good for them, right? And it allows you to experience some of those games that you normally, would. I mean, how much time do we have to game, right? Meaning sitting on the couch playing it in front of the big screen. So this is just another way to make it accessible for people, and the control in terms of like the connection is phenomenal. All you need is like something ridiculous, like 5 megabits per second. And the connection is like 1-to-1. Like I had it in my kitchen, which is at a diagonal from the room we're in right now, all the way down on the other side of the house. And it was like, there was no lag whatsoever. I get more lag with my FrameMeister than I got with this remote play app. So that has been a ton of fun. So I've been playing that. And then the other thing, going back to a former podcast, one of my pickups, there was one day, I think 2 weekends ago, I had my brother-in-law here. It was actually the day after you left, Trent, after we had recorded and gone to the show. And Trent, Alan was here, and we had a save file that we had just created in Dungeon Explorer.
Oh, yeah.
And so Dungeon Explorer being a game that is more, I would say, Gauntlet than Dungeon Explorer on the TurboGrafx. But I will tell you guys, just about the most addictive, satisfying game that you could play. Super grindy. You got to like grind a ton to get through that game. But we were strategizing. We were working together. We're building levels, we're getting armor, and we're getting new weapons, and going back into the dungeon, and leveling up, and it just had this very pure, old school, just vibe about it. And the music is fantastic. Like the CD soundtracks, like they really put work into some of those games back in the day. Back in some of those Working Designs games and those Hudson Soft games, they really, really put some work into it. And we had a ball playing. Like I cannot wait to get back into Dungeon Explorer. And it's the kind of game where single player is gonna be good, but I really want to wait for him to come back because I want to play 2-player or 3-player or 4-player, which is you can do that in this. If you got a group of friends, it's worth $100 or whatever it is for the game, because it is just phenomenal. Like this is some of the most fun I've had with gaming, in recent memory.
On the Sega CD too.
Yeah, it's I'm getting that. Here's how you know a game is really good is when you think about it when you're not playing it. Like you're somewhere off. You're somewhere off doing something else. You're at work and you're thinking about, I can't wait to get back home to play it. It's like when I was in first grade and we had just gotten our Sega Genesis in the summer of 1991, and Sonic had just come out, and we got the set with the Sega Genesis, and I was like doing my math work in the class, and I'm just thinking about the palm trees. I'm just saying I need the rings. I got to get back to it. Now I'm not gonna say it was that powerful, but it's that thing of like it's nagging at you. Like I can't wait to get back in. I understand the systems. I understand the game. I love the grind, and I want to get back in. That's like that special feeling of gaming where you're just feeling like everything's clicking on all cylinders, So I'm really excited about Dungeon Explorer. I mean, what can I say? It's a great game, and it's funny because you read stuff online. I'm reading reviews of it, as I'm playing it. Now I'm getting into it. I want to find out more information, and all the reviews are like, it's really grind heavy. It's not as good as Dungeon Explorer on, the TurboGrafx. And I went back. I pulled up my Vita. I've got Dungeon Explorer from the PSN store, and it's a fun game. But it's not. It doesn't have that exciting factor that Dungeon Explorer on the Sega CD does. So I'm really enjoying that right now. Salvatore, what are you playing right now?
Minecraft.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with Minecraft?
Just always playing it.
I made my. I can't talk.
He's so excited he can't even get it out. What did you make?
I made like a. Since it's Halloween here, it's almost Halloween here.
We're in October.
Well, yeah.
I
made a giant like scarecrow kind of guy. He's made out of like lava, and he has
pumpkin head.
Yeah, he has 2 pumpkin heads.
2 pumpkin heads.
Which I want to light them on fire.
Just gonna keep dropping dynamite all around them.
When is it okay to have your child watch Backdrafts?
Yeah, but you don't need dynamite to make it have fire, because that can blow up the whole thing. you just.
I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
No,
so some of the fire got on the ground, and then he had like chickens around, almost like a moat, like around his house. Yeah. And then you just walk around, and it's just like fried chicken everywhere. And he's letting what are the bad guys called?
Zombies, creepers, skeletons.
They're all going in. He doesn't even have a door on his house.
Yes, I do have a door in my house.
Now you do, because I was like, you need a door on your house, because all these bad guys are coming in here like they want a glass of iced tea.
Well, now I have a fence around my house. I'm gonna make it bigger now.
You need to make it
build
bigger.
That wall.
So this child owns Minecraft. Build that wall. Oh man, I love Donald Trump. He's the best. In all ways I can't really speak of, but yeah, he's hilarious. So you're playing that on Switch.
Yes.
But this child also,
as well, in addition to,
has it on what?
3DS and
3DS. It's all one word.
3DS
and the tablet.
And
he doesn't play the tablet version anymore because it's not up. It's not. But he has the level of the Nintendo products.
But he has it though.
Yeah.
There's a Super Mario mode for Minecraft that I played, and I turned Luigi into a zombie.
You did?
Yes.
I didn't know you could do that.
I turned it. I broke it.
Did you know this? Yeah.
I like broke one of his eyeballs, and then I took one of his. I chopped one of his arms off.
You can actually dismember?
Yeah.
If they're in certain patches,
I knocked his jaw loose.
I did knock his jaw loose. So he looks like a zombie Luigi.
Yeah.
Bigfoot zombie Luigi.
So you're playing that, and then you're also playing Smash Brothers on 3DS too, right?
Yes.
Now, can you... This is a question we had, Ryan, because you're the knower of all things. Can you unlock... Was it Greninja, or who was it?
I already have Greninja.
Who was the Pokemon you wanted to unlock? That you were going to ask. You were curious if you could unlock him in the 3DS version. He's in the Switch version. Do you remember?
No one knows.
Was it Lucario?
No, I have Lucario already.
Okay.
Mewtwo, maybe?
I do want Mewtwo.
Can you unlock him in the 3DS version?
I honestly don't know. That's like one of the few games I just don't...
Microphone.
I want Mewtwo and Gyarados.
That's one of the few games I don't really play too much of.
Why not?
Oh, you're not playing Minecraft all the time?
You're not playing Minecraft and
I'm not a big
Smash Brothers on 3DS,
I'm not a
which
big
came out 7 years ago.
brawler person. We can get to my
Excuses.
issues.
I remember we were at the store and you were playing Smash Brothers on Switch, and you were like, how do you do this? What's wrong with this? I was like, there's a game that you actually don't, play that much?
Yeah, well, it's like, I mean, I grew up on fighting games. I'm not a big party brawler person.
A party brawler.
Oh, and like, it's funny because one of my coworkers is like really obsessed with Smash, and she's just like, "It's not a party game." I'm like, yes, it is.
Well, I know there's a big fighting game.
The youth knows.
The Utes. Because the fighting tournaments, isn't that kind of a thing where it's like Pokemon's not a real fighting game? And like,
Oh well, most of the
no, it
fighting,
actually is a real fighting game.
most of the fighting tournaments don't host Smash.
They don't.
No. And I mean, now there's like some that are starting to get sanctioned by Nintendo, but it's still not considered a fighting game because fighting, well, it's one of the things where like my definition of a fighting game kind of goes back to
one-on-one.
Yeah, they started as it's one-on-one on a singular plane. There's no.
What about Soul Calibur?
You
though?
can't edge guard in.
What about Soul Calibur?
Well, no, it's still a single. You're still on a flat plane.
Yeah, but you can dodge to the left and right.
Yeah, no, but that's my point. Is it's still a 1v1 flat plane. There's not levels. There's not power ups. There's not ridiculous. Oh, I can just stand here by the edge so you can't get back on the stage. None of that baloney.
Okay.
That's kind of where my issue is.
Okay, there's a game that I want to talk about.
What game?
It's kind of like Minecraft.
Are you playing it right now?
Sometimes. Yes.
Which game?
Here we go. Roblox?
No, not Roblox. That's not related to Minecraft at all.
Kinda.
What do you know, Trent?
But people don't have blockheads
What is it?
in Roblox. Pokemon Quest. You can.
Pokemon Quest on the phone. Do you know about this?
On the phone?
You know about everything, don't you?
On the phone?
What is this Pokemon Quest? He just found it looking on the App Store, and I was like, sure, you can get it. What is it?
I mean, it's one of the spin-off titles that they did on mobile. It's kind of like RPG Lite.
Microphone.
Sorry. It's kind of like RPG Lite.
Yeah.
It's even more of an RPG Lite than the regular Pokemon games are.
Guys, every time I say microphone, drink. Okay, so that's 3. That's 3. We're going to count this up. Trent, can you put a counter in here? All right.
Throw them up.
All right.
The Kleenex box.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to anything you said.
It's
Say it again.
it's one of the side products they've done. Like they've been trying to do more connectivity.
Sal loves it. Sal is like dying to get back to his.
I caught a Rattata.
Oh boy, here we go.
You guys need to know everyone that he caught.
A Pidgey.
Pidgey crushing it.
And
Hey yo, PJ.
What's the name? Vulpix?
Was it you?
The one, Vulpix. Dad, do you know who Vulpix is?
Yeah, I got me a bull.
Dad,
Yeah, what about him?
Vulpix evolves into Ninetales.
Ninetales. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
9 tails.
Nine tails. We watched that the other night. It's just as good as it ever was. Cool, man. Well, Ryan, what are you playing?
All right, we're done.
Ironically, I've been playing Minecraft.
No way.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing Minecraft. Game came out 13 or 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy though?
It's addicting. It's fun. Sometimes it's nice to just be like play something methodical. So like
You,
if I'm just
you guys should go online and like build a house together or something.
could do that.
Can you guys friend request each other on it?
Yeah, you can play, but Microsoft being Microsoft, you have to pay for a special service just to have a joint play on Minecraft.
Really?
Yeah, it's called a realm, and you have to pay for each one you make.
Oh, nice. How much are they?
I think they're like $7.99.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure, why
All
not?
right.
Yeah, Microsoft being Microsoft. And then other than that, though, I've been playing. I got back into playing Pokemon Shield.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been getting back into
Now
that.
what is that? What is that on? I don't know.
Switch. So that was Gen 9, if I did my math right.
Shield and Sword.
Okay.
Or Gen 8. Yeah, Gen 9 of Pokemon, of like the mainline games.
Any classic stuff or anything related to classic stuff? I mean, Pokemon is. But.
Yeah, it's got a ton of the original 150 and everything. But no, because I had gotten out of it because I lost my save file 2 different times prior. So
Two
I lost
times.
everything twice.
I lost my Legend of Legaia file twice, and I didn't play it after that for 20 years.
Yeah. So
Now I just started it again.
that was
Cool.
So I just kind of got back into playing that, and other than that, not really too much. My friends have been wanting me to play Overwatch, but I really don't care.
That's still a thing?
Well, thankfully, Blizzard was kind enough to the day that Overwatch 2 came out, they shut down the Overwatch 1 game completely
Boom, out of here.
because they're like, oh, we'll use the same servers. But that means anybody who owns the disc for the first game is now owning a coaster.
Okay. Well, yeah, because it's an online game only.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you would think like, hey, we're gonna put all this money into this new game. We would put new servers up so people can slowly migrate over. But I know one of my friends was trying to play for 24 hours straight. He got 1.25 matches in because the servers are so bad they can't handle the load of the amount of people that are playing because it's free to play now. Because it went from because it went from a paid game to free to play.
How long was it after that it was released that it went to a free game?
Oh no, it started as free to play. The second.
Oh,
one.
it did. Okay.
Yeah, but like they were like, oh well, we use this.
So how do they monetize that?
Skins.
Ah, yes. Everyone's hitting skins.
It's your Fortnite model. Let's all do skins. Oh my gosh. It's new crossovers. You want this new hero? $20. Yeah, it's.
Do they really make people buy skins of stuff?
No, in Fortnite.
Well, it's like any mobile game.
It sounds like the majority of their income comes from a select group of audience.
It's all whales. It's literally
Whales?
Yeah,
that's, like a white whale.
Yeah, it's like
the people
1%
who like
of the population spends 90% of the money on the game.
Yes.
Most people spend like a little bit here and there, but it's the
or
people,
none. I would say 50% of the people will probably never spend a dime.
No, like there was like that guy, I forget. There was an article a while ago about this dude in the UK that spent like 150 grand.
Well, good for him.
On a game, which to me is insane.
I remember the Russian guy who lost his job playing Fallout 4, and he got divorced by his wife.
No game is that important.
Fallout 4 might be, but
you're not a real gamer, bro.
I've put time into Fallout 4. It's not that important.
Fallout 4 is great. Come on.
It's great, but 3 is better. So is New Vegas.
All right, well, whatever.
All right, whatever. This is not a modern podcast.
It's a modern game.
All right. Let's get into everybody's favorite segments.
It hurts holding this in my hand the whole time.
Well, you know what? No pain, no gain.
We're happy for you, as always.
Let's get into some pickups. Trent, do you have any pickups?
Yeah, I do, actually.
What do you got?
We're going to go blast them quick.
Yeah, let's blast them. Blast the bass.
The Master Blaster version.
Mm. You know, they make Master Blaster.
In the hot Jaguar
they make
bag.
Blaster Master on Genesis, but nobody ever talks about it.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to blow through these real quick, because...
Pause.
Yeah, pause. I picked up American Gladiators on the NES.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Yeah, it was at...
I told you, we talked about that in the podcast that didn't release, and... I was like, I would love to try the American Gladiators on NES.
Which I think this one's actually supposed to be solid, or decent, I should say. I got it at Game Exchange out in Norwich when I went to my mom's. I just stopped in there, and they had it for $25. So I was like, all right.
I've never seen that
NES
before.
game for less than 30 is not bad.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
And then I also... Oh, they also had... Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle.
Ooh, a better game than people give it credit for.
Yeah, it was $15.
That's
Can't
complete?
complain about that. No manual, but
okay.
$15, you know.
Yep.
They also. Oh, and then I grabbed the Ultimate Edition of L.A. Noire.
Oh
nice.
wow!
It was only $5.99. So
Nice. That's a great game.
You know, I have the irregular version, so I was like, well, I'll just get rid of that one.
The irregular version?
Yeah. The TJ Maxx version. Slightly irregular
size, yeah.
And then I picked these two up from Andrew at the game show.
Oh, the King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picked up Bugs Bunny and Double Trouble.
Oh, what a waste of time.
Genesis.
Yep, go ahead. Cool.
And then I picked Dracula for
another waste of time.
No,
Nice.
it's actually it's pretty. It plays like Warlock.
Yeah.
That game I have.
Still a waste of time.
It was only $10 each. And then I got Battle Clash for the Super Nintendo.
This is some work.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
You're putting some work in here.
Pretty cheap games though. I got this for $19 shipped on eBay.
Now was that the last Menacer style
Super Scope game?
Super Scope game?
No, I think these all came out around the same time.
No,
But
I'm saying the last one that you needed.
No, there's another one. It's some weird title. I don't know the name of it. It's escaping me right now. And then I also picked up.
Look at all this.
I already had the cart, but
treasure.
I picked up the.
Oh
Yeah.
yes!
Nice.
I picked up the case and the manual.
Heck yeah!
For $20, so I complete my cart for Thunder Force 2.
Nice.
What
on the Genesis.
a great game!
I have Thunder Force 3, but I don't have a box for that one yet. So that'll be the next thing, hopefully.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, all fairly.
Thunder Force 3?
Yeah.
You own Thunder Force 3?
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah. So yeah, all fairly cheap games that you don't have to spend too much on.
That's solid, Trent. How many ducats did you have to leave behind for all that?
Oh, I mentioned it each time I said the game.
Sorry. Like $100 for everything?
Less than that. Yeah.
Oh.
Something like that. Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff,
yeah,
man.
Just under 100. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That was all in like the last week or two too.
Dang.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you got?
Okay. I mean, this is some of what I've gotten since I've been. One of my favorite games on Genesis finally I saw this come in.
Cool.
Lion King on Game Boy.
Cool. Sorry.
It is pretty cool.
Cool.
Jeez.
If anybody understands the reference,
No, I got it.
It's a decent port. I mean, it's
It's
obviously...
by THQ, so that makes it instantly bad, but
I like it. It's, for what it is, it's fun.
yeah, it's crap. But go ahead.
This is not a licensed game, but it's still pretty cool.
Oh, yes.
It's a Pico interactive game for
Pico
Genesis
is
called
great.
Clan of Heroes, Generals of the Yang
We've
family.
played this. We've played this on the
So it is on the Evercade.
Evercade?
on the Evercade.
I couldn't remember. I was like, it's probably on the one of the Evercade cartridges I have.
It's,
I just couldn't remember.
It's a golden axe-ish beat 'em, slash 'em up.
I would say more like Dungeons and Dragons, like the Chronicles of Mystara.
It's cool. I do appreciate that even though it's a third-party repro game, they bevel the cart. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah,
So I appreciate that.
that's solid, dude.
But
That's
definitely
awesome.
a cool game. One I had
No,
got.
we don't talk about PS2 games. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
This is one I had gotten rid of, and I never thought I was going to see it again.
Look at that
I was
box.
able to get it.
Wow.
The anniversary edition of Wild Arms 5.
Wow.
It was
Wait.
the last Wild Arms game.
Oh wait, is that an original release?
Yeah. So.
Okay, all right.
Man, this is like 12 pounds.
Yeah. So Wild Arms is
Pounds, baby.
Is one of my favorite RPG series, and I've
I like the graphical
been trying
style.
to get the last ones I needed back to play them. The only one I'm missing now is 3, which is
Jeez, this is
weirdly the most
2007. So this is a late release.
late release PS2 game. It is the 10th anniversary of the series because the first one came out in '97.
What is it?
Yeah.
Like a steel book and like a.
Nope, no steelbook, just case with like an art book and a few other things, but definitely.
So how much does that go for?
$180, I think.
Whoa.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! Ooh, ooh.
But yeah, this is one of those I was very happy to get.
Yeah.
And,
Get it back in the collection. Back.
Yeah.
Bring it back home, Ryan.
and then just some Switch stuff.
So Ryan, just so everybody knows, Ryan is Switch crazy, and he actually owns over 200 physical copies of games. Is that correct?
248 as of last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it right.
He counts them every morning.
I have an
He counts
Excel
them.
spreadsheet because I have no life. Well, it also has.
You need to. I mean, I had a list of Saturn games on that shelf over there for the longest time to figure out what I had and didn't have.
Yeah, my friend Dan was like, "How nerdy are you about?" I'm like, "You want to see my spreadsheet? I can make a graph for you."
Listen, it takes work. Listen, this is serious business here. You know, classic gaming ain't no joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I picked up a few things.
You tend to buy like retro inspired games. I notice when you do buy your Switch stuff, it seems to be two-dimensional art or something that has a kind of a retro look.
they're more timeless and they're easier to pick up and put down. I
Right.
find. So
Right. And when you have 250 games, you want to have things that are easy to pick up and put down.
yeah.
Pause.
But yeah, so
Nope.
like just to kind of go through quickly, I recently started purchasing some stuff from PlayAsia. And because I'm anal retentive, I had to swap the Japanese style cases for the English ones.
of course, as you would.
Right.
It's literally the same thing, just a notch of plastic difference, but my OCD would not let me get through it. But I picked up this one. It's called Trigger Witch. It is very similar if you ever played Enter the Gungeon.
Nope.
It's that kind of isometric.
Is that like Binding of Isaac, that kind of a
kind of,
thing?
yeah, it's like a shooter,
Yeah.
but it uses dodge roll mechanics. Mm-hmm. So it's really good. Trigger
Okay.
Witch is very similar. So that was a really cool pickup.
Sick.
This one I actually saw on Dreamcast first. Was a new game made for Dreamcast by HuCast.
Ooh.
And they did a Switch
Is that
release.
like HuCast? Is that like HuCard? Like Turbo? Like what's the?
I'm not sure. I just know we
Nobody
got
knows.
the Dreamcast released the store once, and it's a shoot 'em up. And when I saw that they did a Switch release, I had to pick it up. And it's called Ghostblade,
Ghostblade.
and it's the top down scrolling shooter.
Top down.
Really cool,
Chrome spinning.
Face down, back up.
but definitely a pickup. This was the first time I ever got a Switch game with the PEGI logo, even though I
Oh my god,
Peggy
the Peggy
18.
logo.
I despise the European rating system. how
I
it
despise
looks.
all Europeans. No offense if you're European and
Okay, I
listening
have
to
no
this
problem with
podcast.
Europeans. I
I
just
feel
don't
like
like
that's
the color
offensive.
system. I'm not a big
What was
fan
that?
of it.
What was that, Trent?
I feel like that's offensive. I despise all Europeans. No offense, though.
Yeah. But I had actually bought this on a sale on Switch for $2.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I didn't know they did a physical, so it's called Rive. It's another like run and gun, kind of like Contra.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
Two
So that's
player?
actually
Is it 2 player?
Yeah, 1 to 2 players.
Oh, nice.
Local, so it's really cool.
And that's even though it's a European copy, it's still region free.
Yeah, all Switch games are region free. It's because Super Rare Games did the physical release and it's a European company. So,
Mad rare.
and then just to
I like how the back does not show anything that would tell you really much about the game.
yeah,
Like, why do they do that?
Mystery games.
it's marketing.
No, it's not. It's bad
I
marketing.
know.
You need to show off the game if it's supposed
well,
to be.
it's technically still marketing.
So, just to
Right.
keep blowing through really quick.
Pause.
I picked up the physical for Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers.
Overrated
edition.
game, but go ahead.
I have Chrono Trigger on DS, so I
Wow,
wanted
that's
to get
exciting. Tell me more.
a physical for the Chrono Cross remake, just because
Oh, you want to get physical?
Wait, so is this Chrono Cross?
it's Chrono Cross. Yeah,
Okay, so what's the subtitle then?
It's Chrono Cross
it just has
dressers.
some of the Japan only stuff, so just some extra content, which is cool.
Nice. All different outfits.
This one, wish Bandai Namco did a physical for the States, but they didn't.
It's just like guys wearing women's clothes, but it's the exact same story.
In gas stations, though.
But to keep going along here,
Try to power through.
I picked up.
Klonoa.
I can't keep my cup straight.
Pause.
I'd also picked up.
Well, we're not playing baseball. Why do you gotta
the physical
adjust your
for.
cup? What game is that? I'm taking over the reins.
So I picked up Klonoa. The Fantasy Reverie series, the physical for it, which is the remake of
He said he got a reverie.
remaster of Klonoa 1 and 2. I'm very happy that we finally get a physical of it, just because Klonoa 1 is far too expensive on PS1.
How much is that now?
I'm happy for you.
200 or was 200 plus last time I checked. It is not worth that.
I want to spend the money on the Misadventures of Tronbon.
What did you just say?
It's okay.
Like I'm okay with that.
I was gonna say if the PS3 store was still up, get it on PS3 for 6
I have
months.
it.
Did you just make up a game? What did you say?
The Misadventures of Tronbon.
Tronba?
Yeah, it's set in the Mega Man universe.
It's Mega Man Legends 2.5.
I thought it was Tron from the Chappelle Show.
It's a great game. I love those Mega Man Legends games. They're underrated. But anyways, I digress. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. The last one was just it's a game called Cathedral.
This, just by the packaging and the art on the front, makes me want to play it. It looks amazing.
So this is from Premium Edition.
Like
games.
everything else that you brought was complete garbage, but this one here has me very, very excited. No offense.
No, it's fine. I actually picked this up at Retro World Expo.
It's not fine.
This company was there. They had a booth, Premium Edition Games.
Are they like a strictly limited or like a limited run?
Same model, but they were insanely polite, insanely kind, generous with their time. They had demos of every game.
And it's called No Reciprocation Games.
They were right next to the Mad exclusive games.
But this is their standard edition, mind you. This is $40 retail. It has a hard outer box,
Oh, nice.
inner sleeve like an NES, which is pretty cool. The standard Switch case,
And you
full
are
color manual, collector's card, and the
you were getting down to the bone over here.
so
Anything else in there?
it's pretty cool. I like the fact that they really are like trying to give you your money's worth with the game rather than oh, here's another remaster for $40 and you get the
For $40, that's a really well put together package.
Yeah, it's awesome. And this game in particular is pretty cool because it's like a Metroidvania kind of Castlevania style with like the spoopy
Spoopy?
type
Soupy poopy.
artwork. So
Shaboopy.
very excited for that. But those are my pickups.
That's quite a heaping helping.
Yeah, that is a solid round of games right there. Just the packaging alone on Cathedral and Wild Arms 5 is just like an Xseed is one of those. They're like a Falcom Soft, like or Neon Falcom, like just like a deep cut. Well, the company that makes Ease, just like a deep cut Japanese game, but it just appeals to me. They just do it. They do it right, you know. And they're like, that's so niche because like not many people play them, but they deserve to be played by way more people. You know,
Mad Exclusive Cops Gaming. I wish there was like a company to name that.
Oh man, cool. Well, why don't we just get into it, right? So
can we wrap this gavel up?
Yeah. So now that we've talked about pickups. What are we?
What else do you want?
What are we, I want to talk. I want to talk about retro game console.
But I didn't talk
first of
about
all,
mine. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I am so sorry, my son.
That's right, Banana Head.
I am so sorry. So let's talk about. We're going to talk about Sal stuff, and then we're going to talk about what we want to look for at the games.
Okay.
At the game show. All right. So go ahead.
Yes.
What do you got here?
What should I do first?
I think you should do the card first.
You have two things.
The card first.
Yeah. What's the card?
Because
this is something you were really looking forward to. You really wanted. You paid for it with your own money. And what was that card that you really? Who's your favorite Pokemon? Or almost pretty much one of your top favorite Pokemon.
Top favorite Pokemon.
Your top 5 dead or alive.
Yeah. What's his name?
Charizard.
And what's so special about this card?
My favorite part about the card is the damage.
The damage. Oh, he does a lot of damage.
The damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I show it to him?
What's yeah? Say it while you're showing. What's the name of the card?
Charizard V-Star.
V-Star 280.
Supposed to be a really special card. It's got like
because it is a very
it's
special
got like
card,
this rainbow effect going on. Is that called the holo?
Yeah, it's a type of holo. Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what it's called?
Holographic. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ryan, tell me about why does he like this card as much as he can't explain?
It looks nice.
It's a Charizard.
Now, is this effective in a Pokemon game? Like, is this?
Oh yeah, I mean,
no one cares about that.
What makes him more special than, let's say, Oranguru?
I mean, his V-Star
Orangatanga
320 damage, so he's one-shotting pretty much anything.
Oh yeah, definitely all day. I'm one-shotting all day.
So if he's got 3 energy cards, a fire plus another one, he can just run through guys.
I mean, he's just basically backhanding whoever's in front of him.
Okay.
And if you throw that down in Uno, that's an instant reverse.
Okay. We have Minecraft Uno.
I love that one.
I know. Don't want to get the Enderman. All right. So what's your next your second pickup?
So my second one, I'll just tell you after.
How about we tell them now?
Okay.
So this is from Retro Games Plus,
So,
right?
Oh wow!
And you love Sonic the Hedgehog.
Uh-huh.
And so you have a 3DS that you're really enjoying.
Uh-huh.
Putting the pieces together.
Well, I play it with my friends.
Have you played this with your friends?
No, not
okay.
yet. Because it's so new.
All right. Well, what is it?
Show everybody. Exclusive.
Sonic Generations.
Sonic Generations.
Sonic.
Pretty cool game. Pretty straightforward, but
I completed Act 2.
Sonic Generations is one of those games where in the history, from Sonic Adventure 1, after that, like Sonic Adventure 2 all the way through, they came out with just a slew of bad games. And Sonic Generations is like the one bright spot. That and Sonic Colors were some of the bright spots in that whole, decade of just trash, let's just say. And I hope I'm not being too harsh, but
No.
a lot of those...
It's deserved.
It seems like Sonic Heroes is getting play now. Like, people are going back to that now and saying it's better than we gave it credit for back then.
It's definitely not as bad as Sonic and the Secret Rings.
No, that I bought that game when I first got my Wii, and I returned it almost immediately. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Or Sonic the Hedgehog, which is unplayable.
Sonic 06.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's with Sonic with real character models. He's not weird at all.
No. So, all right. So we are through that. So let's talk a little bit about the show. We can talk about the games that we're looking for, but is there anything other than the show floor that we're looking forward to while we're there?
Honestly, not really.
You're all about getting down to business, huh?
I mean, it's just, it's a long drive, so you don't have as much freedom to be there all day as usual.
We got screens in the car. We're going to be able to bring some consoles and play some games while we're going up there.
I'm just saying, the drive is longer than the event for us, you know what I mean? So it's not like we can just spread out all day and do whatever we want. I mean...
I do like the setup that they have with all the computers.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I hope they have some of those set up because I remember we played like the original Duke Nukem last time.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Or I was at the title screen of Dark Tower and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and they had Doom set up on like the computer,
the classic
with the speakers on the side of it and like everything. So I mean,
sound blasters.
That's a lot of work to do to get all those computers in there, set them all up, and like. It's a lot of work to do that. I don't remember if they had. Oh no, they did. They did have like a small arcade section. Not like crazy big.
I was gonna say I'd like to see if they bring back Site B, which is the Area 51 sequel.
I want to play.
Oh yeah, they did.
Because that was actually really fun.
I forgot about that.
Like games like that, like Carnival. Like those were fun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those are fun games that never came home to console. So being able to experience those games in an arcade setup. That's the only way you really can do it, and that
should have put like a compilation disc. Wasn't
I know, right?
What's the one on the set? What Maximum Force or whatever? Is that on the Saturn?
Yeah,
right.
In PS1 as well.
Oh yeah. That's like one of the. I think was the same. Is that Midway too?
I think so.
Yeah, man, they really should have came out with like a compilation.
Oh, it's right here, Maximum Force, Midway.
Yeah, like on the Wii, that would have been tight if they came out. Like they put all those out on the Wii. Yeah. Yep. I do remember. I think they had that at Tons of Fun back in the day in the mall.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I've ever really played this other than testing it out. So
still got the sticker on it, huh?
Pull the trigger.
I like. You know what? I like keeping the stickers on them now because
I know because you look back. In 5 years, you're like, oh, I paid $9 for it.
Right. It's like where is it compared to where it was? Because
that's like
even like price charting or eBay only goes back a number of years. Like they drop off after a while.
Yeah. It's like 2 years usually.
It was funny. I was looking up sold listings for KO Flying Squadron and Dynastic Hero, and there's only like one sale maybe every year. Maybe so Dynastic Hero for Turbo Duo. It's basically Wonder Boy and Monster World reskinned for the Turbo Duo, and they came out with it. It was like a mail order thing. There were very few copies.
No.
The last time it sold once this year. The last time it sold before that was 2019. So it's just like, you have to go to auction because you just don't know what it's going to be, Even a game like KO Flying Squadron has more activity than a game like that. But some of these games are just... They're so obscure, even though they're sought after, that you just don't see them selling. They must be selling in some other avenue, or like locally, or I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I wonder how many.
So few copies that they're just not selling.
Yeah, I wonder
at all.
how many copies were actually made and
printed,
sold. Yeah,
I know. It'd be.
Probably look it up.
I don't think they.
I don't know.
I don't think there's a way to track those ones.
Was it like Turbo Zone Direct that used to do that? It was like a TTI or something like that. Like after the Turbo kind of went out.
I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, they did like a mail order thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about just. You're talking about just for that Turbo game.
Yeah.
How many? Oh no, I was talking about the Flying Squadron. Like how many copies of that were actually like sold?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know you can usually look up prints, like how many boards were pressed for stuff. Whether they all sold is, who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a CD game, so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Just I think if they had the computer set up, that'd be kind of cool. Even just to take 30 minutes maybe and like play some of the DOS games. Maybe they'll have a Prince of Destiny.
Well, there's just something about like those old computer monitors too, and just the tubes that they have in them. They're just a little bit different than TVs, and even the classic TVs.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about. Even like the Apple II or whatever, where you've got like it's the computer and the screen all in one.
Yeah, they had those set up with the printer. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I was playing Dark Tower on, or trying to play Dark Tower on, and just there's just some. It's almost like looking at a PVM. Oh, by the way, this kid Chris who works with me, his dad used to be an AV, used to be a photographer, worked freelance. He said he's going to check and see if he's got any extra PVMs from back in the day, security cameras from when his dad was working freelance. So
just what you need again.
Hey, listen, if I could get it cheap, get a 14-inch Sony PVM.
Oh, well, 14. Okay, hey, we're talking big inches.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess around with a 9-inch one anymore.
I mean, I'm not messing with 9 inches either.
No, it's got to be 14 or bigger.
Pause.
Yeah.
No pause.
Just let the silence ride that one.
Yeah. I mean, I would think it would just be besides like looking at the games, that computer section, because this is all day. IBM, DOS,
As far as like the splendor of the show, I think it's a little bit more muted compared to Retro World Expo. I don't think it's as bigger. I mean, have you been up there before? Mm-mm. So this would be your first time. We've only been once or twice before, right, Trent? We did like 18 and 19.
Was it twice?
I thought we went up twice. Maybe not. Maybe we only went up once.
Oh,
it's all right. I caught it.
What'd you do?
We're good.
What were you doing?
he failed miserably, is what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I thought it was twice, but either way. So Trenton, what are you looking for at the show?
Pretty much what I didn't find at the last one.
This is one thing I wanted to mention. I think we did pretty good with our lists as far as what we were trying to get. I thought we just did a great job of like I wanted. You called out Jungle Green on my 64, and that's the one that I ended up with.
Yeah.
So there was like Light Crusader I ended up with, right? So there was the Extreme G stuff, right? That I ended up getting. So a lot of the stuff I checked off my list as far as at that point things that I wanted to try to pick up.
Yeah.
And then you got. I mean, Fight for Life. Like, who thought that we were?
that was like that was at the end that I was like,
which isn't as bad as we thought it was going to be.
No, it's playable.
It's playable, which is more than what you can say about other fighting games that we've tried.
Oh yeah,
95% of the Jaguar library.
No,
I wouldn't say 95% of the Jaguar library, but I agree with you, Ryan. A large portion are games.
Jaguar.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to make that comment that I thought we stuck to the list a little bit better than I even anticipated us, and following through on that. So you may not have as many, but I wanted to get your thoughts. Maybe you thought of some new ones that you.
I haven't really thought of too many new ones. I'm still for the Wii U. I still had The Walking Dead and the NES remix, which is not too hard to find. I just have like manuals for the Genesis. Like that's what I'm always looking for, or like people with manuals and like folded up boxes. Like like that guy that was at the Retro World Expo had a ton of like folded NES and Super Nintendo
Pack
boxes.
Family?
Was that who it was? Yeah. Okay, yeah. And like manuals. The Game Gear. I still want to get Mortal Kombat 2 and Sonic Drift.
Those Game Gear Mortal Kombat games are actually pretty. Competent.
Yeah, and the Game Boy, I still wanted to get the Contra, and then the Ninja Turtles. What is it? Out from the sewers, or Return to the Sewers, or
back in the sewers, back out of
around
the
sewer.
Yeah.
And now, so that's pretty much it on my wants, and then anything else is just like if I see something.
Well, like you said when we recorded the podcast for Retro World Expo, it's seeking and then finding the things you didn't know that you wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to put it. Is we're gonna use our list as a guideline, but you just never know. You might end up with a Banjo-Kazooie record. It just might just
and
happen.
I got Battletoads.
Have you listened to it?
Yeah. I might. Well, I already listened to it because I think it was streaming somewhere or digitally. I had heard some of the tracks on it. I haven't set up my record player. But and then for the Jaguar, obviously, Atari Carts is still there.
Syndicate, right? You needed
and Syndicate, yeah.
And then, did you need anything else? Like, was there
for the Jaguar?
Yeah, didn't you say you needed like AVP or something like that?
Oh well, I don't have the box for Alien vs Predator.
Okay,
but
all right.
I mean, I guess if someone had it complete for a decent price, I'd probably grab it and then just end up selling my copy with the manual and the controller overlays.
Okay.
And then 64, I still have Resident Evil 2 on there.
Oh, Resident Evil 2, that's been going back a couple of years now.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for that thing to skyrocket out the window, huh? Before you pick it up.
Well, I mean, it's not something I'm looking for online.
What if they have any Jaguar CD games? Because I know that you were talking about that last time. Would that be something that you would get anything of?
I don't know. I
keep your powder dry and look for some other stuff.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I want to spend money on those right now, just because it's not like a big. Like most of the games are fairly cheap, and they haven't really gone up at all. They're always around the same price, except for.
I was actually looking up Primal Rage.
Yeah,
it has like not many sales, if at all. There was one copy on eBay I saw,
and then pretty much all of them are without the box. It's in the digipack case.
Yep.
So if you want the long box, it's
which is like why even bother if you're not going to get the whole thing?
Yeah. So those like the Brain Dead 13 and the Prime. I mean, once again, there's only a dozen games for the Jaguar CDs, so and those two are the ones that are like crazy expensive. But yeah, unless there's like unless someone has like some like repro Jaguar games of like older like the Amiga games or whatever, because there's companies that still put out new games. If someone had some of those, maybe
they're not making new CD games though.
No. I'm talking about just the Jaguar.
They're gonna have 7 people buying them.
Hey, those 7
people
are dedicated.
Speaking of which, talking about like the production runs, Brian, Trenton, do you know how many Jaguar CD systems were made?
Oh, geez, maybe 25,000, if that.
Really, that low?
I think so. I mean, the Jaguar was around 200,000, so the CD was an utter failure. So I don't know. They only made a dozen games for it, so like literally 12 games. I don't know, man. 25,000 seems right to me. I don't know if it's that many or not. I'm just making up a number, but that seems right to me.
Okay.
Could be proven wrong. Maybe it was more.
So many of those didn't even work.
Yeah. Marcelo's the king of those. He'll make it. He'll fix it somehow.
No, it's good to have him in your hip pocket. That's for sure. So what were some of the other stuff? Did you run through your list, or was there any 32X stuff or anything?
No, I mean, if like that, it's one of those like if I saw something maybe like I kind of.
Do you have Tough Man Contest?
No, I have it on the Genesis, and actually like the 32X version isn't any better at all. They literally did like nothing to it. It's like literally the same game. They didn't add anything, or even like the sound and everything still like almost exactly the same.
Okay.
And it's not even that great of a game to begin with. I mean, I'd like Afterburner. And like Space Harrier. They're not really games I want to spend a lot of money on. But that would be for like 32X. Yeah, Genesis. I don't know, man. Like, there's Contra Hardcore. I don't know if I want to spend
Blaster
that.
Master?
No. Beauty and the Beast. There's not too many games that I really want to spend a lot of money on.
Did you ever get Gargoyles? Didn't you want Gargoyles?
I do. I never got it.
Okay.
I know that's a really good one. And then what's the Jurassic Park Lost World?
Yeah, that one is pretty choice.
Yeah.
What they did with that engine to make it run on the
That's like one of the
Genesis.
last games on the Genesis.
Yeah, it's the animation and just some of the graphical effects are just something you would expect in a 32-bit plus game like system. Seriously. So that was that would be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, if I come out with a bunch of random Game Boy and Game Gear games, I'd be happy with that.
another portable splendor.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't have that many Game Boy. I'm never really looking for them,
Yeah.
Until recently, I was like, I want to get some of the ones I used to have.
So for me, of course, I'm still looking for I've got Sega CD,
all of them,
some Genesis stuff, PS1, 64. So
what on PS1?
So for PS1, I still want to get WCW versus the World. I'm going to look a little bit more earnestly.
That's like
for
a $3.
I still want it though.
I know. I mean, I'm saying that should be easy to come across.
It's one of the. It is kind of harder to find weirdly because it's one of the decent ones on PS1. So it's like you don't see it as often. It's not expensive. It's like $10, but like you don't see it as often.
This is a deeper cut, but I kind of want it. I have the case arts for it, but I don't have the discs in the manual.
Okay.
And it's Parasite Eve.
Okay.
Which I have it digitally on the PSN. That's another game where you can really sink your teeth into.
So you want to find the discs, or if you find a complete version?
I'll do whatever. If I find a manual, if I find discs, if I could just start to piece it together. I don't know.
How many discs is that? Like 3?
I think it's 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the game's 2, and then there's if you have the black label, there's one of the preview discs that's
like a demo disc.
Yeah. I have the black label case art.
Yeah, because
that was a thick one. That was a double.
Yeah, the double.
Yeah, because there is a green label of it.
The greatest hits one.
Yeah, the black label one though, because there was like 5.
What was the preview? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I think
Soul Edge.
No, it was all because it was Square only.
Soul Edge.
So like it had like Brave Fencer Musashi. I want to say Tobal in there maybe.
Oh, Tobal number 1.
Yeah, because there was like 5 or 6 Square games that came out that had preview discs for other Square titles. So Parasite was one of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of the notable
PS1.
PS1 games I want. I still want to get Layer Section 2 on Saturn. I found Thunder Force 5. It is en route.
Wait, on what is it? Is that a Japanese game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's coming from Japan, so it's gonna get here by Christmas.
Oh, and actually, dude, stuff from like China and like I order stuff. It usually comes in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
It says like estimated like November 1st.
It depends on who their carrier they're using.
They usually, I mean, maybe. Oh wait, maybe they send it media mail through China or something?
I don't know.
Can you do that? Probably.
Well, too, if it's coming out of Hong Kong or another province too.
Yeah,
Like anytime I've ordered like overseas, it usually comes within like 2 weeks.
From eBay though?
Yeah.
Really? Games?
I don't know if I've gotten any games, but it'd be like parts for something or pieces for something, and
okay.
I'd get it within two weeks.
One game that I sadly said no to you on, which you offered, you're like, hey, we got this game in. Would you want to get it? And I was at the store one day, and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, not really looking for it. Don't really want to spend the money.
No,
and it was like it was. I think you were gonna charge me like $30 for it. And now I'm like kicking myself, but it's a Dreamcast game, which there's not a whole lot of Dreamcast games that I want, and it's Record of Lodoss War.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like Light Crusader, but on Dreamcast.
Is that a U.S. release?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that goes for more than double.
Anything that's related to 90s anime, because there was not a lot of games that had like any sort of relation to them, are expensive.
Yeah.
And Record is one of those.
It's one of those games.
Yeah, it's like that. The JoJo's game on PS1's up there now, like because they didn't because this is before anime hit the States. So like,
is that like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still gonna look for Buck Rogers Planet of Zoom on ColecoVision.
Yes.
I want. I gotta get NBA Jam 32X. Mm-hmm. That's another one I gotta get. So that.
Oh, complete.
Yep, that's in the hunt. No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
I would really love to end up with a copy of Ride and Tread on Genesis, complete. If I could get the
is that an expensive one?
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
it's a shooter.
$80-$100. If I could get the special cover art too. Yeah, that would be pie in the sky.
What do you mean when you say special? There's a variant?
There was a second release variant where they said that they wanted to show off what the game like really felt, like what you felt like when you were playing the game. It was just basically like a Harrier, just like like you're facing off against a Harrier, just like right next to it. And so it wasn't more. It was less of that neon graphical cover. If you see it, the Ride and Trad cover.
Is there like a big price difference or no? Is it?
People ask for like 180. It's not. You're not going to sell it for that anymore. It's just not going to happen because the bubble has popped. But I'm really excited. That's the one thing we didn't talk about. I'm really excited to see what deals we can get because Ryan, you run a game store, so
it's gone. Stop trying to sell pre-COVID prices. Just take the hit
or COVID prices.
Eat your sandwich. You lost.
Move
on with your life. It's okay. It will be. It's. There's too much going on macro-wise and too much going on in other spans of.
I guess you could hold it if you don't want to sell it because you want it to go back up.
It will never go back up to that though. I can guarantee that.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Because it's the same thing. It's like people are like, oh, it's collectible. It's like it's not a Ty Cobb rookie card. You're not holding on to a piece of historical significance.
Significant to me, man.
It's like it's everything that is quote expensive has been produced in 100,000 plus quantity. That is not rare. It is not a Babe Ruth rookie card. It is not something that was made in the 20s or 40s or whatever.
I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say I like to track the value of my Saturn collection.
Yeah.
And I do,
yeah, of course.
But at the end of the day, like I'm never gonna sell it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give it to him. He's gonna be the one ending up with it, and then. Man, if depending on if he has kids, and who knows if it's even still good. But I wouldn't even mind this going to a museum. Mm-hmm. Just like somebody takes it over and just displays it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is going to the Smithsonian like the Virtua Fighter cabinet, but you know what I mean. Just like I value this more than money. You know, this is more than just dollars and cents. That's why we buy what we buy, because it's
there's a significance to it.
Right.
Yeah, you're not buying it to potential of selling.
No,
it.
not at all. Not at all. So,
but it's cool though when you look at something up. You're like, geez, I paid $20 for it. Now it's like $150.
it is kind of cool to just see where the market goes. But I'm not like crying in my cereal because the market goes down. I still love the games and I want to play them and I want to have them in my collection.
Yeah, it's good for us. Get things a little cheaper now.
I'm really excited to see what we see, and you just hope that sellers are realistic and not trying to hold on to that. So I'm glad you're coming with us, because I really want you to be able to kind of be there as
you just want me to pop off on people.
I want you to lose it, and I want you to get arrested so that we have to bail you out.
You're like erroneous on all accounts.
Conceivable.
And then the N64, like, I'm still going for the fantastic colors.
Oh, so you're looking for the consoles,
or the Pokemon one. You have to go.
I put that on my Christmas.
Oh yeah, the Pokemon 64. Okay. So yeah, so if I could end up with like I'm going for grape.
That's an awesome one.
Grape or smoke. So those are some of the more tougher to find ones, but I love the grape one. Let's be honest, I want to get them all. So
whatever one you find is
right.
Good,
if we can find it. So here's a game that kind of calls back. This is a little callback to our podcast, Trent. I thought about it the other day. I was like, you know what? I never actually did this. I want a complete in-box copy of Smash TV on NES.
Oh, I think you mentioned that. You mentioned it recently.
I've mentioned that I wanted to get it, but I didn't mention it on that podcast. So I would love nothing more than that. Smash TV on NES is just a phenomenal game. It is so good. Like the action, the moment-to-moment action is frenetic, but just everything works well together, and the timing and the hit detection, everything just works so well. They give you bombs just when you need them. It's just like graphically, does it measure up to the Super Nintendo? No, it doesn't. We understand that, but it plays damn well, and you're holding two NES controllers sideways.
Yeah, if you have the
it's a dual stick shooter on the Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't do that, then
we wouldn't be talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want BC Racers on the Sega CD. That's supposed to be the best version of BC Racers.
I remember you got the 32X version for me.
I went to the mall.
Danbury?
Level 1 Games or something.
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Soulstar, of course.
So
Soulstar has got to be on the top of the list.
Hey, why's your list so long?
I don't know why. Actually, it really shouldn't be, but
because I want to eat dinner and go to bed and then go to the best place in the world.
We're almost done. I want to get Vey for Sega CD. That's one of the last working designs games that I need. RPG. So Flashback for the Sega CD. That would be another game that I want to get. So
all of them
for
the Sega CD.
So that's those. So I think I got a pretty healthy list.
No supers, huh? I don't have any either.
So Ryan is holding a game for me, if I may say that. I'm going to be picking up Breath of Fire on the Super Nintendo complete in box.
You have to find a manual.
I
thought it was complete. That I checked.
You lied to me.
I thought it was complete.
As God is my witness.
You scallywag.
The Illusion of Guy is complete.
I don't want Illusion of Guy. It's not as good as Breath of Fire.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Breath of Fire. That cover art is phenomenal.
That game's fun.
That dude looks like he's ready to tear your face off
or rip a mean one. Either or.
What do you think? What would you say?
I'm scared now.
You like Final Fantasy, but I got to admit to you. Can I make a confession to you?
Uh-oh. Oh, help.
I don't think the story is that compelling in the Final Fantasy games.
I like
give me Legend of Legaia. Give me Skies of Arcadia. Give me
just give me the light.
Give me Phantasy Star. The
2?
I don't like. People
4.
are like, oh, the scene with the girl and the guy at the beginning of Final Fantasy 2 or 3, whatever it is.
Did you play 6?
2, 3?
Yeah, I would say Final Fantasy
3 is supposed to be better than 2.
Yeah, so
but 2 I started and I'm like, because you gave me the PlayStation version and I'm like I want to like this. But I just can't get into it. So like you showed me that list and you're like, hey, do you want any of these? And I'm like, I had Breath of Fire 4 for PlayStation 1, and it was awesome. That would be one I would. I mean, that's probably $1 million, but like, I would like Breath of Fire 4.
One. That's a very good one.
Grandia.
Grandia is amazing.
Grandia is awesome. Final Fantasy. What is the deal with Final Fantasy? Because I can't get into this friggin' game.
Going on a tangent now.
Each one's
what happened?
I'm sorry. Each one. We'll talk more maybe at a different time when we're not trying to kill time.
I want to know what is the deal with Final Fantasy? Because why are people so crazy about
What's
it?
the deal?
It's a commercially palatable franchise for a JRPG. That's literally it.
It's very palatable.
It's commercially palatable.
I don't even know what that means.
All right, and that's the episode.
Cool.
All right. I guess we'll find out after the break. We got to talk about this, but we'll talk about this offline. But
yeah,
you hit us up in the comments. Tell me why Final Fantasy 2 and 3 are so revered.
Why
games.
game good?
Reverent.
Explain.
Why are they reverent?
I want to know why Final Fantasy 2 and 3 are good. I have a hard time getting into those games. The combat is fine. It's fine.
All right.
But the story I have a hard time getting into, and it makes it hard to play those games. So much of RPGs and what makes them great is when you're engaged by that story. And so I want to know. Tell me what it is, and tell me why I should go back in, because I have a hard time getting into the Final Fantasy games. So when you sent me that, I was like, definitely Breath of Fire, maybe Illusion of Gaia, Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl for NES, definitely. I saw that on the side there. So
on the side.
All right. Well, we will be back just after these messages,
break.
But a bunch of time will have lapsed, and we will have gone up
Allegedly.
to New York, seen a bunch of deer with antlers on the highway.
Yes.
And then we'll come back and give you our thoughts on the show. We will talk about our pickups, and we will revel and wallow in this mud we call retro gaming. After this, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The next day.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome back. Hopefully that break in the action was enjoyable and informative and nostalgic for you to be able to see the word from our sponsor. We have fast forwarded time. We are back from Syracuse, and we got some things to say. Everybody, we had we had quite an experience. We had high highs, and we had some low lows, and a lot of in
Wait,
between.
no one got Adventures of Lolo. I didn't get it. Why did you get it? Not tell anyone?
I'm in love with the Lolo.
You know I got it for the Lolo.
We have got a lot to say. I would say we got a lot to say about this show, especially in comparison to, if we want to juxtapose, to use a word, against the Retro World Expo, which
to use a word,
to spin a phrase from what we experienced down in our neck of the woods in Hartford.
Rep your set.
It was an experience. We did. So I'm going to start at the end. We did end up going to Dinosaur Barbecue up in Syracuse, New York, which
just in case anyone was
not. Yeah, listen,
was on the tips of
I just want to let
toes.
anybody know before they leave the podcast. Like, if you are in Central New York and you have an opportunity to go to Dinosaur Barbecue, you may or may not want to go. I don't know how these gentlemen feel.
I mean, just make sure you block out enough time, because no matter what time you're gonna go, it's gonna be an hour wait. We got there 4:30, and it was actually over an hour wait.
I want to go. I want to go back just to go to Dinosaur Barbecue. Like, I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. Like,
no, I got you.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Like, the barbecue there is solid. The atmosphere is really good.
Ribs are good.
Were the ribs really good? See, I didn't get a chance to try them.
I got.
Dad, I wouldn't live long enough to get there.
You wouldn't live long enough to get there?
You mean if you tried to walk?
What do you mean by that?
Even if I would drive.
Oh,
It is a long. It's a
yeah,
long
it's a long way to go for us.
From Connecticut.
From Connecticut.
Yeah,
right.
I got donkey punched.
That was the drink that you got. You got a drink called the donkey punch, which I thought was hilarious. But the barbecue is just really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
everything
ribs.
is really good. The beans with pork. If you're up there, get the beans with pork.
Ribs are good,
I like the cornbread. I mean, some people don't like the cornbread as much.
which
but,
would just be me.
yeah. Well, Liz,
Oh, I thought she said she liked it.
no.
Oh, she didn't.
No, she thought it was like, she said that it tasted old, but to me
That's
it was,
what I said.
right, but to me it was just tight. It was just like they crisped it up.
It was a tight piece.
Yeah. I mean,
That's fine. I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't. I mean, I was like, we were going there like, oh, we gotta get some cornbread,
Right.
and I think it just didn't live up to the hype of the cornbread that I
Right.
thought it was gonna be.
right. So that was enjoyable.
Oh, I want to tell them something.
About dinosaur barbecue.
Tell 'em.
No, not about the show.
Oh, we're gonna get into the show.
We haven't even started the show
not
yet.
what we pick up. No.
Okay, go ahead.
So
The kid's got something to say.
after if whoever's watching this right now, if they made a video, I think they did make a video for the show yesterday, Daddy. Mm-hmm. And I was actually on it looking through a bit of video games.
Oh, that's right. There was ABC News up there was filming, and they were discussing the fascination with classic gaming, and so of course, good-looking child,
I'm more on
cameraman.
TV now. I'm on TV more.
You're on TV. Yeah, you got an eye for the camera. So if you're up in the Syracuse area. That's already passed. So by the time you're looking at this video, it's already the moment's gone.
It's over.
So just getting started in terms of, kind of as we enter the show, right? There's always that feeling when you first enter a show and kind of, the essence of what you're heading into. And, energy is a real thing. Mm-hmm. People don't maybe realize that, but there are individuals that can feel the energy when you walk in and step into a facility or into a show or anything like that. And I know I heard more than one of the members of our party express that.
The members of our party.
Yeah. Namely, I think it was
Anonymous.
you, Trent, and I think Liz again. And maybe you, Ryan, has mentioned that the kind of the mood of this show was a little bit more muted than, let's say, what we experienced down here in Hartford. It was a little bit, I don't want to say sad, but maybe a little empty.
It felt like there was a constant thundercloud, looming. It was just, I don't know. It just felt dark.
Why do you feel that way? Because to me, I don't pick up on some of that stuff as much. I mean, when I walked in, and to me, it looked like Hartford a little bit. Not that it was the same exact thing. Number one, the show floor is a little bit smaller. Everything is a little bit more muted in terms of the arcade room and some of the vendors and some of the things going on. But in terms of the mood, I didn't really pick up on that. So can you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, I don't know if maybe you felt similar, Trent, or differently, but I mean, I know for me, when I walked in, it felt more. It felt like I was going to, when you went to Retro World, it felt like it was oh, we're going to a convention. It felt like an event.
It was more.
Felt a minor league hockey game, for lack of a better term, but kind of it had that feel everybody's in line, all of your tickets, you just want to get your beers and sit down. It was that type of feel where it's nobody was. It didn't feel the excitement. People didn't seem.
I feel like there was more chatter at the Retro World Expo.
Yeah,
it just seemed like when you walked in, it was more of a party vibe. Mm-hmm. I think it's because it's also because they had they had music playing and you could hear it throughout the whole area, and it just felt like. Maybe just because maybe there was more people there.
Plus, no Tim Kitzrow.
That's true. That's a whole vibe itself.
Well, that's actually a good point, because they didn't have really any personalities there.
Well, they had some people, but they didn't even advertise.
I mean, they had Mega Ran.
He was performing. Yeah,
but that was it.
That was in a whole the other side of the Yeah, so that's a whole separate
partition
thing.
in the other area.
The corner where you couldn't even hear him or see him. What was it? The guy that created General Chaos.
That's true. Who was asking for that? First of all,
But you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't even advertise. Like, he didn't have a big sign or anything. It was just like, oh, here's an arcade machine blocking our view of you.
Right.
I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna know who this guy is here.
Well, they had all this because he did like all the. Like, I think he had what else? I think that was pulled the Qbert thing, or it was he had like Arc Rivals and like a bunch of other games. I guess apparently he worked on, and then they were working on we can get to that like later. Yeah, but I mean overall, I just didn't feel like the vibe was as good as Retro World Expo. Maybe I don't know if it was just more because it was too close together. Like we had like an overload at Retro World Expo. And then maybe we were expecting that exact experience, like
I don't know,
only a month later, a month and a half or so.
I don't know. To me, it just didn't feel as welcoming. Like for me, like it just felt like the security staff was like pissed to be there. Like they were just like, here, put your crap in the tray here. Like I'm like, okay, dude. Like I get it, you work here, but like crap.
Although I had a pen and I was like, oh shoot, what do I do with this pen? And I'm like, hey man. I assumed that they wanted me to throw it away.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, do you want me to just throw this pen away? And he goes, why? And I go, I don't know, because people act stupid at big events and do things that they shouldn't. And he goes, what are you going to write stuff down with? Which...
Yeah, but little did you
was
know.
Hilarious. Like I really appreciated that. I was like,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. Like I appreciate that. Like I'll take my pen back. I just randomly by mistake grabbed it and brought it in. And he was really cool about it. He's like, all right, don't do anything stupid with that. And I'm like, I can assure you, I will not compromise the entirety of the future of my life by doing something stupid with a pen. You know?
Yeah, well, he didn't know it was a Mission Impossible pen, which is also a laser and a recording device. So you kind of pulled one over on him.
Yeah, and then like I don't know, it was weird too because like it felt darker in there.
You think so?
Well, it's weird because
I feel like the lighting was nigh like right on,
felt,
like the same.
I don't. It probably was. It just felt darker, if that makes sense.
Well, I think but when you have the mood being what it was, yeah, I mean that's going to dim the lighting a little bit because everything is by perception.
Yeah, and it's like as soon as we walked in, it's like we're greeted with a vendor that also was at RWX, but also had the same stuff they had at RWX because their prices were laughable at best.
Well, now, did you take a look at? I guess we can kind of get into the show a little bit. So, did you take a look? There were some vendors there that were also at the show. We didn't, witness a few guys that were there that make the rounds. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that some of these vendors will go through the Northeast and do the shows. But did you notice any of the stuff? Like, did you say like, okay, this is exactly what they were charging?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, if I'll tell you what, if I was a lazy vendor and I was a month out from another show, I wouldn't reprice everything.
I wouldn't either. No,
but
Still
you
have
know
it all
what?
in the
But that
business.
means you have to be more flexible when you are dealing with the show because you're out of date.
That's a good point.
And unfortunately, this particular—I'm not going to name anybody. I don't want to be rude, but
Can you name him, please?
Sir.
I want you to ruin your reputation with that individual.
But this specific vendor, it was like laughable. Like they had the same stuff in the cases. I'm like, dude.
And prices have been changing.
Eat your sandwich. You lost the money. It's okay.
Prices have been changing even more since RWX. Like we thought prices were changing at RWX.
It's on a exponential curve. It's going down now. We went through the top of the bell curve. We are now on the swift slope down.
Right. This is a man that manages a video game store. Everybody, just so you know,
He puts the man in manage.
Well, it just annoyed. And again, this might be coming just because of like the other stuff I've been educated on and like gone through. But like, you have to stay ahead of this stuff, and my boss is amazing at that because we were talking about this before the show.
And you guys have a store. You have multiple stores
five
that
locations.
have just
soon to be fifth one's opening in like 2 days, but
congratulations on that, by the way.
yeah, well that's not that's
Just
great.
gonna throw that out there. Just gonna throw it. No big deal.
Well, for anybody who's in California who's listening,
new store, new Retro Games Plus is opening in Lawndale, California, on Redondo Beach Boulevard. Definitely check it out. Sorry,
Check it out.
my apologies.
the last man alive that still has a ringer that is audible on his phone.
But check it out. I've seen videos of the store. He's got a lot of really great stuff there, and our owner Chris will be there, and he's really awesome to talk to. So.
Right, but my point is that you guys are constantly, and I'm in the store quite often. You guys are constantly repricing, and that's a job. That's a job in and of itself because if prices are stable, it's not a big deal.
No,
right? I mean,
well, that's the thing is we went from having to when I first started. This was about 6 years ago, 7. We were repricing probably entire store over a 6-month period.
Now you got to do it every month.
I have to do it every 2 weeks, almost.
That's a whole store. How many Wii games were made?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you don't have to go through all those ones.
Some things are stable, like Atari hasn't changed because it's been out of the collecting eye for years. So
right.
Nobody cares.
Right.
But
the 16-bit, 8-bit, 32-bit.
I'm doing NES, N64,
PS2,
Super Nintendo, Genesis, PS2, PS1. Every couple weeks now because it's hitting that curve, and that's the thing is we know to stay ahead of that because we know that curve was coming. We were talking about it when the curve was almost at the peak that we had to be ready for this. But the thing is
ahead of the curve. Got to stay ahead of the curve.
These other stores don't.
And you got to stay humble too.
And you got to realize, hey, I'm not perfect. We make mistakes. Sometimes we don't catch up with, the way things are going because we're human beings. We only have so much time.
Do you ever have somebody coming into the store saying, "Hey, man, you got it listed for this. Like, this is what it's going for."
All the time.
And then what do you do?
I mean, if somebody comes in and they're like, "Hey, man, it's like a $2 difference," I usually say like, "Listen, if you're buying a few things and you're getting like a buy 3 get 1, that makes up for the $2 because we always have a buy 3 get 1 on certain systems." So it's like you can, in theory, you're getting more off of that anyways. Mm-hmm. But if it's like, hey, this game, a good example of this is we had Devil's Third come in, right?
Right, it's Devil's Third for Wii U.
That was a $500 game 2 months ago?
Yeah.
3 months ago? Now it's sub $350. Mm-hmm. So it's like I had to change the price on that. And if somebody came in and we were like, oh, yo, you have this at $500, man, but it's like $350 online, I'll match it, no worries. That's
now
that's
what is
$350
online? Does that mean like the last sold item?
I look at sold listings. So we use.
Do you go to price charting? Do you go to eBay?
We use price charting initially, but any intelligent
it's a little bit late though.
Business person should know, like, hey,
I always use eBay.
All these tools are never going to be perfect, so you're better off getting as much data as possible.
I think eBay is the best source because it shows sold listings up to like the last day or two.
Well, the only reason I like using price charting
game value now.
That's good too, but because price charting has their marketplace too, so sometimes you'll get some of their sales too.
Oh, that's true.
So I like using multiple tools and trying to get as much as I can. So it's like if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, this is selling for $350." All right, I'll look at eBay. What are the last 10, 15 sold listings?
Damn, 10, 15? Usually if it's a rare game, there's not 10, 15 sold in the last.
If there's only 2, I'm going to use the 2 that I have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get as much as
you average them or something?
Yeah, try to get a decent average as best I can. And then I'll look at price charting and see, what
about what people are asking, though, in the moment? Like, right now...
I don't care.
But right now, what I'm saying is that, all right, we're going to get into the things that happened at the show, but where, let's say, the game hasn't sold for a little while, and the last sold was 100, but people aren't posting it for more. There's listings on there that are for 75.
Oh, if that's the case, sorry, I didn't know that's what you meant. So if that was the case, it was a rare game, right? And somebody came in, there's no sold listings, or I can't find anyone at all.
Somebody brings in Dynastic Hero,
and they have let's say price charting. It's 100, right?
Dynastic Hero.
We talked about this yesterday. It's for the Duo.
Oh,
mail order.
Yeah.
Mail order bride only.
Oh.
So let's say it's price charting for 125, but there hasn't been a sold listing in months.
Right.
And I look at eBay and it's there's multiple buy it nows for 45. I'm doing it for 45.
Okay.
Because it's dude, I'd rather get
mark to market.
I'd rather get your money.
Right.
Why? It's okay, I'm gonna take a hit, but you know what? I'd rather take the hit now than in 2 months when it's gonna drop even lower.
Right.
It's it's just being intelligent about what you're doing.
So,
and trying to make the customer happy.
Just so that you guys know, the reason why we're kind of having this extensive conversation about this is because we experienced this over and over and over again at this show, where there are sellers that it seems as such that they are holding fast and strong to, I bought it at a certain price, I need to sell it for a certain price, and what it was selling for a month and a half ago is what I need to sell it for, even though it may be selling for less, or the listings that are available on the marketplace are 25% less than where I have it right now.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Right. I like that, the way that you say that. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And we experienced that quite a bit yesterday. And so I think the combination of sort of the mood heading in, and then also just what we experienced on the show floor kind of gave us this, I don't want to say yucky feeling, but just kind of like this muted feeling of just like
feeling.
Just like, you know what?
I mean, it wasn't like how long? Like an hour and a half or 2 hours before like you bought something. You know,
this is how it works every time I go to a show. I'm just realizing that this is a me problem.
Well, no, it was even with me though. I was like over like 2 hours before I find something.
Because it's like, you know, you don't know what you don't know until you see everything. And then, you know, I think I went up to that booth where I bought my big deal.
Well, I mean,
that I got. I went up there like 3 or 4 times before I ended up buying it.
Well, that's because you had to wheel and deal and make things work. That's a little different. You know what I mean?
But I kind of hemmed and hawed. I mean, how many times did we... Yesterday... So just so you guys know, yesterday I read like a story. It was like... The way things worked out yesterday, so at least for me, if I could be self-centered for a moment, was just...
No.
We went to a show yesterday. Is that how you want me to do it?
Yes.
It just, there was an experience that flowed through. So I'd like to try to take this somewhat chronologically, if we can. Yeah.
Right.
Because I think that would be good to kind of show everybody just sort of the experience that we had. So we walked in. You had the first vendor that we see is a vendor that was at Retro World Expo. So immediately you're like, okay.
My eyes immediately roll because I know the vendor.
You're like, oh, here we go. This is how it's going to go today.
Oh, cool. You have no right being here. I hate you. No, I shouldn't say that. I just.
But you did.
Yeah, but I just get aggravated because
we'll edit it in post.
No, we won't.
They're just so It's just so disheartening when you come in and you see somebody that you know has a poor attitude towards both their consumer,
and they get the front.
And they get the front booth, and they're just rude the entire time. I'm like, dude, can you just like tone it down? Realize you're selling video games. I realize you have to maximize profits, but there's a way to do that without pissing off your customer base.
And I think in general, what we saw was that the vendors that were there.
Don't be sorry.
Don't be sorry. This is
this is venting.
Yeah. So I think in general, most vendors, if I can use that word, most vendors were asking more money for the games than they were worth.
Mm-hmm. The majority.
Like actually, that guy or that booth was selling Sonic for $80.
Sonic 1.
Sonic 1.
Mind you, for those who are going to critique and say, "Oh, was it the ESRB rated one?" It was not. It was the regular retail release. No, okay, it's not for resale. Regardless, I get that game constantly. That is at best, at its peak, was $27.
Somebody was asking $35 with shipping on eBay, right?
Yeah. And it wasn't
like, okay, that's with an inflation from eBay. I'm like, still, I don't charge you that.
And it wasn't just that. There was
it's Sonic.
Multiple booths where they had it for about $80, and I'm like, am I missing something here? I was like, Sonic, the first Sonic.
Yeah.
Did I like? I was like, is there something I don't know that I missed out? And I was looking on eBay, and I'm like, obviously there's the not for resale and an other version, but it's like, who's gonna pay $80 for Sonic?
No one. That's why they all had it.
And that is true.
But again, it's like it's that thing of people not reading the room very well.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like that with like even games I wasn't even interested in. I was just like, they were just like so astronomical. I'm just like, it's like where you couldn't even. Like you wouldn't even bother trying to haggle with them because like you're so far off on what you're willing to pay and what they have it for that it's like it'd almost be like an insult to them to even like, hey,
and that happened
30
and that happened with me were you with us when that happened? With the guy with the bucket hat?
Yes.
Okay.
Although to be fair, I have no problem insulting you if your prices are ridiculous. I'll say it to your face.
All right. Well, my wife always tells me how wrong I am about things. So
I will try to be as professional and polite as I can when I say it. But I will tell you, sir, you are not meeting your market. This is astronomically gross and morally unethical. You should probably change your price.
And then
that's my PG way of saying that.
I mean, it did piss me off. Like It did piss me off because I wanted that game, and he.
Rant alert!
If I can go off, because I know this is not chronological, but I'll mention this because it'll set the tone. So this dude had Parasite Eve, which is
two, to be fair.
No.
Oh, the other guy.
No,
Yeah,
it's the first one.
This is the first one. My bad.
Yeah.
Parasite Eve 1. I wasn't looking for Parasite
Sorry,
Eve 2.
I was thinking of the other vendor you went to. He had it.
Right. He had Parasite Eve 2. But Parasite Eve 1, which is selling for no more than $60, would be
on a good day.
There's like 10 of them
on
now
a
at
good
60,
day.
no problem.
Right. You could probably get it for 50 or lower.
Black label, all complete. No
Wait,
way.
can I interject?
Which first of all, that's fantastic value for Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Parasite Eve is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair to him, when you went up to you grabbed the game.
What did I do?
This isn't
No. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna get into that. Let me be the bearer of that news.
Bidet.
So I pick up the game.
Oh no.
And the tag on it.
Oh no.
The tag on it says 100. And going to your point, where you're like, listen, if you're gonna be that obnoxious with your price, I am gonna, say something that's gonna insult you, lightly.
Politely.
Politely I don't know how you politely this is how you politely
I will
insult.
politely correct your error.
This is how you politely insult somebody.
Hey, no disrespect.
If you want to know what that means, politely insult, this is how you politely insult somebody. I saw the thing, and I was in shock that it was 50%, 100% more than it should have been. And I looked at him, and I said, this is a polite insult. I said, this isn't the right price, right? This is like an old price. Like, what are you actually asking for this?
And then I just started walking away.
You started walking away. I was like, this is going for like 40 or 50 online. And he goes, so? And I said, okay. And I just...
Well, no. You said, this isn't an old price. And he goes, no, that's the price. And then you go, it's only going for like 50, 60 online. And he goes, okay. And you put it down and walked away. I'm like... Okay, you wasted money on that booth, dude. Have a nice weekend. Yeah. I mean,
well, here's the thing: is these guys are not going. They are going to go home at the end of the day today, because this is when the show ends. They're going to go home with most of the stuff, if not almost all of the stuff that they brought, and so they paid for a booth that didn't pay for itself.
Yeah, or they barely made them over the mark because.
Yeah, plus all the...
So you spun your wheels for the whole weekend then.
Or, if they did make over the mark, they morally and unethically scammed their buyer by overcharging them.
You called it hot potato. The last guy with the game loses.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's not... And maybe, again, this could be because of how I prefer to be as a person, but I don't think it's right to just...
Well, you're a sweetheart. Everybody loves you.
Try to scam people like that. Like, if a price...
you did try to scam that one guy that one time, but,
If a price is high, and it's justifiably high, I'll say, okay, dude, like, listen, man, I understand where you're coming from, but you gotta realize, like, the last... how many listings of this have been around this price? If I sell it for less than that, I open up the risk of somebody flipping it and then making me look the fool.
Right.
And then I open up to more people coming in thinking they can scam me, and it becomes an entire problem. I had a problem with this once at the store.
Did you really?
Where I gave a guy a deal on something because I thought I was being nice. I knocked off like 20. It wasn't a lot. I was like,
it was me, wasn't it?
No, it was a box Saturn. It was like it was.
So it was me. It was me then.
No, it was a different person.
It was me.
And then literally he buys it. 2 seconds later, I see a post on.
You told me about it. You told me about
saying,
this. Yeah.
"Oh, yo, I bought this. Hit me up if you want it." And I'm like, dude,
man,
you
no humility,
yourself.
no nothing.
You said to me, you were like, "Oh, I've been really looking for one for my collection," and I was empathizing with you and felt compassion.
Right, because you know how it feels to really want to get a game.
I'm a collector too, and I'm like, "All right, man, I'll help you out. I'll take off 15%. That's my discount I normally get." So I'm like, "I'll give it to you, being nice. Maybe you'll come back, spend more money. I'm a good dude. I feel like that's
right.
a good way to conduct business."
Well, think about it. Like, how much money, how much attention do I give, and how much money do I end up spending at the store?
Well, yeah,
because we have a good relationship, and I know that. When you find stuff, like if I'm down there, like I can find a great game and I can get a good deal on it, and I'm going to spend that much more money at the store.
Yeah. And it's like, yes, our job is to make money for the store. But at the same time, you want to make the customers welcome and like they want to come back. You
want to foster a community is really what you want to do. You're talking about actually having a mini show in the store in a matter of 4 weeks. you can only do that if you foster a good community in your area, and you guys have done that, and that's what creates this environment where people can thrive and actually enjoy it and come together, which is what this whole community is all about.
But that's the thing is like that's why like when you come in like our store like we have like you, it's like I'm not gonna hound you to buy things. I'm not gonna watch you like a hawk, like make you like uncomfortable. Like, yes, don't steal, please. Obviously, that's
The
why
amount of items that I've run off.
we have
in that
security
store is
cameras.
just-
Please don't steal. This is I don't want to. I don't feel like calling the cops.
They don't see anything that I steal.
But no, like, but my thing is like is
Good like that.
Even if you come in and you just want to hang out for a little bit, talk some games, maybe you play an arcade machine, it's fine.
That's what we used to do. I used to go to Babbage's.
totally fine.
I used to go to Babbage's all the time, and this dude Chris was there, and we used to just talk games all the time. We would just talk. What was the new Dreamcast game coming out? What was the new PS1 game coming out? What was the new Saturn game coming out?
But you know what? By making it welcoming for that person, they're gonna come back and buy the expensive game.
Oh,
that
go
they've
ahead.
been looking for and wanting,
Right.
and they'll pay retail because hey, maybe I get lucky at some point at a tag sale or something. But one, I know it's been tested and works, or if it doesn't work, I can come back and get my credit back so I can get something else.
Exactly. That's the protection you get from buying.
And I'm talking to somebody who knows what they're doing,
Right.
and is not being rude or deceitful or mean about it. And it's like just having that common courtesy. It's not that hard. It's really not. And we will get into more of how not to do things.
Yes, Salvatore. What were you gonna say?
Speaking of stealing,
What'd you steal?
no,
He didn't, but
I didn't. But this is really.
Did you bring those in?
No.
You need to go get those afterwards.
Okay.
So there was an item. I feel like we should just wait to talk about it.
No.
it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say it.
No,
though.
I tell you what.
There was an item that he was gonna get that he wanted to buy, and what happened? What did you think?
You said take it.
I said
You said take it.
well, there was a guy
So
right
I
next.
was like
there was a
this.
guy right next to you who looked like he was maybe eyeing the packages, and I wanted you to at least hold it so he wasn't gonna grab it in front of you. But what did you think I was saying? Take it.
So he went like this, like to put it away, and we're like, "No, you're gonna buy it. Just hold it."
I think I was like, no. Like I was talking to the dog when like he won't like calm down. It's like, no, you don't do that. No, absolutely not. You thought I was telling you to steal it,
Slight miscommunication.
right? Which is not the case. It's not what we
But
do.
that's what I thought.
I know, but you were good about it, and you were like,
I was trying to listen to you.
you really want me to steal this?
He's innocent. You didn't know, you know.
No, I know. It was.
Here's your $2.
It was a funny moment.
Yeah.
So, but you should go get those items so that we can talk about
I
them.
think Bobby knows where they are.
Yeah. So let's just go chronologically. Maybe we can kind of like
I would say because that's my pickups would be the first thing,
do it that way. Yeah.
or at least the first ones I got.
Don't do it without me.
Yeah. So
We won't.
so having said that there were most of the vendors were not pricing things appropriately. There were some that were, and one of them was sort of towards the front. We kind of walked
like-
right, and then
He's like
it's
right there.
right there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of towards the front, and there was a vendor who had a bunch of NES games and Genesis games, and they priced them pretty
They were already priced pretty
more
fair.
reasonably than what eBay is.
I think they were. They might have been like one or two games, but they were like somewhere $1
the games
over,
that
somewhere
I
$1
got-
under. It was like
the games that I got were under eBay value.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like they were somewhere like a little over, somewhere a little under. It was like all, but in the realm of where it should have been is my point.
What you would expect
Yeah.
to. So here's the thing: what you would expect to start the haggle at, because the culture of a video game show. If you guys aren't doing this, I encourage you to start because it can create a lot of experiences where you piss people off the way I do. It's like going to the flea market. If you have a flea market locally where you are, you haggle. I mean, that's part of the culture is haggling, right? I mean, when you go to a show, you haggle, and the haggle is not like, hey, it's 100. I want it for 50. If it's worth 100, the haggle is,
Well,
hey, you
that's
have
what
it.
you did.
If it's worth 100, I
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Don't you misappropriate what I'm saying over there, little, as Liz would call you, the peanut gallery. If it's 35, I'm gonna haggle you down to 30, or
at least.
Or if I've got a game that's 35 and a game that's 15, I'm gonna haggle you for 40.
Yeah, all day.
Like that's just that's part of the deal. You know what I mean? So you hit it right off the front. Like there were games, I don't know. Now when we recorded earlier, for some reason I apologize to you, Ryan. We skipped out on your on your wants.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't important.
Tell us if the games that you have are some of your wants that you would have mentioned that you were looking for.
Yeah, so two of them were on my list. One of them was more like, this is cool that I would, if I can get this in this bundle, that'd be cool. But it was that first like good vendor we found, and they had like a bunch of like box Genesis stuff, and
like all of these are like very good Sega games.
Yeah, and so I ended up was able to do a bundle. So I picked up this game initially, which is The Great Circus Mystery, starring Mickey and Minnie, and I've been looking for a lot of the Disney ones on Genesis,
which is a Capcom game. It's not a Sega game.
No, Capcom. They had it at
complete
40.
in box.
Complete in box. They had it at 40, which is what it goes for.
Right, there's actually a ride at Disney that Mickey and Minnie are like lost in like a circus.
Oh, cool.
Is it really?
Oh boy,
I'll have to look at
Do you remember that?
Allegedly.
Kid was barely 5 when he went down to Disney.
No, I was 5.
Anyway, what kind of game is that?
It's a side-scrolling platformer.
Get out of here. Side-scrolling platformer?
Nothing but the OG status.
So I initially picked that up. I also picked up the Jungle Book for Genesis, complete in box. They had that at 15.
And then
in the Master System section, they had Afterburner for Master System, also complete in box. And they had this at 16.
16.
So they had everything. Yeah.
That means they want 13.
So they had so it was like 71. So they had everything at like 71.
71.
You offered 60?
You offered $70.
And I said, would you? And I said, just because I'm buying a few, could you do 60?
That's a reasonable offer to a reasonable price.
Yeah, it's $3
This is how
off
every transaction should go.
Yeah, it's $3 off each
with a
game,
woman
basically.
gnawing on a slice of pepperoni pizza.
Yeah. She initially was like, eh.
What?
And then she called over who I'm assuming was her boss.
Oh, hers?
And he was just like, yeah, it's fine. I don't
While
care.
she's eating a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, she was...
Yeah, y'all can do that.
Yeah, it's just, somebody chewing on a slice of pizza. It's a very nonchalant, very relaxed environment.
That's the booth that I got this at.
Yeah.
Correct. So we're going to talk about that right now because, soon.
Yeah, let me just... Yeah, so I was able to get these for 60, which is... I think I saved off of like what they're currently charting for. I probably saved about $5, but that's fine. And you know what? So they made a $60 sale, which games I can almost guarantee, at least if they're making similar margins to what I make, they probably paid like 15, 24.
So they made $15.
No, they made $40. So all three of them together, they probably paid about $20 for.
Oh, you're saying okay? I thought you said 15 per each.
Because they were a store. It looked like because they had like we have like the printed tags and everything.
Yeah.
So they probably paid like if they're doing margins correctly, they probably paid about $20.
Okay.
For everything, and that's if they bought them recently. Like if they bought them years ago and they've had these like sitting in overstock,
right?
It's free money.
$2.
Right.
So it's like they made good profit on them, and I was able to walk away with a good experience.
Right. No, that was a good deal. It was a solid deal. Yeah. The circus game, I've seen it in places. I've never really paid it too much mind because it's like it's Castlevania or nothing. It's Quackshot or nothing. It's like Castlevania and Quackshot are the two that are the most popular ones and the ones people seek after. World of Illusion is one that's kind of like a secondary one. This one, I didn't even know about. So it's pretty cool that you ended up with that and that it's. Side-scrolling platformer.
Did you know it's a non-violent fun for the entire family?
Did not know that.
That's one of their taglines on it.
Well, it's like World of Illusion. You don't ever attack anything. You just spray pixie.
Do you know?
Dust
Is
and
it 2 players simultaneously?
I think so.
It says 1 or 2 players. Oh, that's kind of cool. I have this on cart. I just never played it. I just assumed it wasn't good. Nice,
man. Well, that was to start a show and like get in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
And to end up with like 3 games right out the gate, I've learned about myself, and I didn't end up with a lot before lunch because everything is like before lunch and after lunch. There's like two sides of the show, you know, before you get food and after you get food. And the before you get food, I always end up with like a manual and like a case art. Like that's like what I end up with, you know,
folded box.
Exactly. That's and then it's like, shoot, what am I gonna do in the second half? It's like I feel like I've seen a lot of the stuff so far, and then without fail, like what did I tell you? I was like, this is how I always start. I always start with just like something small in the beginning, and so almost like reluctantly, but sort of. I appreciated it in the same breath. I ended up with this game, which I had on my list last time, but for some reason I just like forgot about while I was at Retro World Expo, and so it was one of the first things that I was looking for. But one of the issues with PS1 collecting, or when you go to a show and you look for PS1 games, is those cases are small and the type is small, and everybody has them. So it's like.
You don't even want to bother looking.
No, it's. I almost feel like I'm like I could look, but am I that interested that I want to look? You know, and it's like, but you were right. You said this before when we were first recording. You're like, you know, it's not a game that you see that often, even though you would think you would, right? And
all day everybody had Xbox stuff.
Right. Well, more modern stuff there was a lot of, but the game is. We finally have done it. I will not mention this on the podcast anymore. It's WCW versus the World. With Sting on the front with a half kind of weird, awkward smile.
Well, he has
This is the start
the fish pick
to the WCW Revenge WWF No Mercy engine. This is where it all started.
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero's on there.
Nice.
Right, Dean Malenko, Lex Luger, Chris Benoit.
Stinko Malenko.
Actually,
Hulk Hogan.
two members of the Four Horsemen.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. So again, I mean, we've kind of talked about this game ad nauseum. I feel like we've given it more credit than it deserves, but this is the start to that engine, which is, you know, by our accounts,
hot wrestling,
the best wrestling action you could ever have
in
a video game. Right?
Oh, that is very correct.
Okay.
Nothing will top it.
And because I never pay full price, I had to kind of find something else. And the guy who was there, he was such a nice guy. He was 100, but he was such a nice gentleman.
Like he kept it 100?
Huh?
Or he kept it 100?
Not he didn't keep it 100. He was 100. Just like a really nice older gentleman who was just like so happy to sell something. And I was like, you got Buck Rogers on ColecoVision? He goes, I will tomorrow. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be here, so that's not going to help me. But let me see what you got on PS1.
There it goes.
He also had WCW Thunder.
Which is the worst.
But I kind of want it.
No, I mean, I get it.
And, and I forgot. But he had all those old, you know, PS1 wrestling games, and I was like, oh shoot! I after the fact, I was like, oh crap! I should have maybe. But
you're better off.
I ended up with this instead, which I'm guessing you would say is a better deal.
Yeah, it was either that or Speedball 2100.
That was kind of interesting to see. I would. Yeah.
Hot cabbage.
Was it in cabbage?
No, it is just hot. Like it's like eating hot cabbage. It's gross.
Boiled cabbage.
Speedball.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay, all right.
It wasn't good.
This is a game when it came out, I asked myself why. Like, why would you ever do this? Because this is essentially like the first game almost ever created.
Because there's money to be made.
And but I got it for a couple of bucks off. He wanted 7 for this and 10 for WCW, and I got him for 15. So big whoop, I got $2 off. But I would have never bought this game otherwise. And that is It's Back Pong
in 3D.
The next level.
And it's on
4-player
PS1. And this is a game that could only be made on a system as successful as the PS1. Hasbro Interactive and Atari, which, you know, was basically Atari at the time, brought back Pong in a bunch of different scenarios. So there's like an ice hockey level, a soccer level, you know, a bunch of different things where you can kind of have your Pong paddles and, you know, play Pong.
Yeah, that was like the thing, like I was telling you back then, like a lot of them were just
It's
recreating.
it's up to 4 players. So.
Yeah, there was like Missile Command came out, Asteroids. Like they were just kind of like remaking like modern versions.
How much
of
did
the
these
game.
retail for? Do you know?
I think they were 20. Like they were like cheap,
Like a
games.
budget release.
Yeah. It had to be like $29.99 or under.
Because
I remember
it's a mint copy.
Yeah, I remember getting it at
because
KB.
it was never played.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
I remember getting it at KB Toys.
You bought this?
Yeah, for like 10 or something.
How did you like it?
No, that's what I'm saying. I liked it. I was telling you, I was like, it's pretty good. Honestly, I mean, I know
It's well made
it's
game.
Pong,
It's a
but
well made simple game.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to do like 4-player Pong. See how that works.
That would be pretty wild.
Yeah. On the
I imagine
PS1.
that would actually be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, again, it's like you said at the Retro World Expo when we recorded that video. You go to conventions to see the things that you didn't know you wanted.
Yeah.
And I would be lying if I didn't say I love Pong. Like I used to own a Telstar, a Coleco Telstar, and just the idea of I don't think they have. Is there any way to play this game with sort of like a rotary controller? I have the driving controller.
Wait, are you saying literally that game?
Yeah, this game on PS1. Is there a way to play it with like a
only thing I
like a rotary controller? Because the driving controller is a rotary controller.
You mean the third party one?
Yeah, the one that I don't know who makes it, Interact or something.
yeah.
Well, the thing I think on that one is you're not confined to up and down. Like you can move your
you can
piece around a little bit, so a rotary controller really wouldn't.
You
work
don't need
for
any
that.
Really,
You're
really,
not on one plane or
Yeah,
like one like up and down. You can kind of free roam a little
I
bit.
really like to move my piece around
In Pong.
in Pong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not like pocket Pong.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I usually go up and down, but I might want to go left and right.
Try to work the middle.
Yeah, if I can.
I mean, it's back.
Yeah. So I mean, let's put it this way: I'm more excited about this game.
This is a lot of talk about Pong.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm more excited about this game than I should be.
Because you never played it,
But I mean, $5. You can't.
This is a lot of Pong talk.
Listen, Pong is important in the history of video games. Okay.
I'm not arguing. You're like, can I get a rotary controller to play this? Like, you really want to go that far into Pong? Can I mod a PS1 controller and add a ball to it?
I hot modded my NES Arkanoid controller specifically for this game.
Is there an Arkanoid controller for NES?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
It's a Taito one. It's hard to find. I've had it.
I've never even heard of it.
I've had it once.
Oh, man.
In the store?
Yeah. It's not it, and back then, before the any boom, it was like $50 for just the controller.
And there's
much is it now?
I don't even want to know.
There's an Arkanoid on the Super Nintendo, I believe.
Super
So
Arkanoid?
I don't know. So I don't know if there's a rotary controller for that either. Well, anyway,
Moving on.
Okay, so that was before lunch. Was there anything else before lunch?
I didn't know. I didn't have
really.
anything.
Well, I know I was the first person to pick something.
All right.
Yeah, the thing he's got right there. What about that?
What? Which one? What did you grab before lunch?
His poopy poppy.
This one?
No, that was after
No?
lunch.
That was after lunch. I mean, we can go through that now.
Yeah, we don't have to go in chronological.
Yeah, so
right.
it was the same vendor that I got the Genesis games from.
Yes.
I got
So the same. So exactly. It's like weird. Like you go up to a vendor, you see them, you see the stuff, you walk away, you do a round, you come back, and so. What the cool thing about going with multiple people is that sometimes if you go to a vendor and one person finds something and then you find something, you can sort of combine forces like, Captain Planet and actually get a better deal together. So always remember that
It's
when
better
you're
together.
when you're going with a group that you can try to work together to get better prices. So
Yeah, we almost tried
so
it with
we
one guy.
well we'll get to that. We might need a break before we get to that.
I'll
It's
say.
almost been an hour.
So
Yeah, you know what? This might be a marathon episode, and I'm okay with that because there's a lot to be said in this podcast.
I'm really not a big bobblehead fan,
Right.
but like
The Funko Pops.
yeah, Funko Pop fan.
So tell everybody what you got there because I'm going to talk
So
about.
I looked at the Funko Pops, and then I looked at there were like the rainbow DC superhero ones
Yep.
from like GameStop.
Is this really still a thing?
What?
Pop figures?
Yep.
It still is a thing. How?
To me, I have a feeling like something's gonna happen, and they're gonna just like either crash or like the value is just gonna go like through the basement. Like something's gonna. I don't know. It just seems like they oversaturate it. Like they make characters for literally everything, and then at that point, it's just like.
But I think that's probably why. They've been lasting is because they can license everything.
They literally license
so
like everything.
They hit all the markets. It's like, oh, here's a cheap figure for this franchise I like. It's $10. I'll buy it.
And then we make a 3-inch one, a 5-inch one, a 3-foot one, a keychain one. But anyway,
it's just,
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, buddy.
So I found this one. Hello Neighbor with Milk and Cookies.
Which we just got the game on PS4, so he's excited to play that with Daddy.
Which I thought was just a random game, and he's like, "Oh, they got a Funko Pop of it." I was like, "Really?"
Everything. There's nothing that can't.
There's a Columbo Funko.
There's nothing that can't
No
be
way.
popped.
Columbo hasn't been relevant since the 70s or 80s. Sorry, Chris.
They were making fun of Columbo in those back, the behind the music videos commercials. Look at that.
And he's just the neighbor. He's got his black gloves on and some cookies and milk.
Can
you show the people?
Elbow-length black gloves.
Yeah. Nothing weird about that.
So
I want to put it back in the box. What do you
talk about the box. Go ahead.
I'm not talking about the box. I'm putting it back in.
Oh, you want to put him back in the box.
And it's allegedly it was a Walmart exclusive until he took the sticker off of it.
Allegedly.
It's mine.
This is the child. This is the child who received one of 300 or 500 chase.
No, I think it was a 3,000. But either way.
No, it wasn't 3,000. It was
Don't
it was in the hundreds.
You sure?
Yes. It was maybe 600.
Dad, don't tell them. Don't tell them. No.
John Moxley.
Don't tell them.
And he tore it up like it was garbage.
Okay. It's okay. You're an 8-year-old kid who should be playing with your figures. That's the beauty of it. Is this kid took a 1 of 600
but it's
or
just,
whatever.
No, it's funny because you had a regular one and it was messed up, so you returned it and then they
No, that was Visionary. What's his name?
It wasn't. Oh, so you just ordered just to have a John Moxley?
He wanted a John Moxley, so I ordered.
And you ordered the regular one.
I ordered a regular one, and what came in was the chase figure.
Yeah.
But at the time I got downstairs, the box had been mutilated, like a rat had decided to create its home in it. Why are we talking about this? I don't even know.
Because we were talking about it. It took the sticker off.
Because he took the sticker off the Walmart sticker. Yeah, the Walmart exclusive. So he
can I just show him my giant things that we could go to Uncle Trent's stuff?
Well, no, because the
his goes with yours.
No, because the same sale that you got this in.
Oh, this is a good one.
We create what this one?
The way you math this, the Willimantic math.
Yeah, so we have something called Willimantic math out here, which is a way to derogatorily talk about the town that we're from. So Trenton and I are from Willimantic, essentially. I'm from a small town next to it, but I went to high school there.
Yeah, he's not really from there.
Yeah. So the way we work this is I had been eyeing a few games that I saw, and Sal had found the neighbor thing. So this was $10, and so I found these games. One was $35 and one was $15.
So that's $50 for those two games.
Right. So the games. So let me talk about the games first. So the first one, which was $15, is a game that I used to play back in the day when I was a little kid. I had this my buddy who lived down the road. His name was Steve. Steve had an NES.
It's called.
And he had this game, which was the first pinball game I ever played that was not a pinball machine. It was actually a pinball video game. And that is Pinbot, which they had the arcade machine there at the show.
Yeah, because it's Williams. And they were like celebrating all.
So
the
they made
games.
the Pinbot arcade machine, and then they made Pinbot the video game off of that. And I feel like I'm spoiled because this is actually a pretty good pinball game, and it was the first pinball game I played on the NES.
I mean, $15 is it complete in the manual?
So $15 is what they were asking for it, complete in box manual. And the box is a little beat up, but it has the protector with it, which was really nice that he threw in a protector. I mean, try to find a protector for less than a few bucks.
Yeah.
Right. So this was one of them
with the neighbor thingy.
Right. And then the other game was they were asking $35 for, and this is a game that's special to me because, of course, I love the Turbo. And this company that made this game, it's almost the exact game, just a little bit different.
A little.
Just a little bit different, but it's just like
Pinball?
no.
Music.
What's the game?
Legendary Axe.
Legendary Axe. Legendary Axe 1 and 2, and that game is a Stallion Axe, or as Trent would say, Axe.
Yeah, Axe.
By Jalico on the NES, which is a underrated action platformer, side-scrolling. It's got a few different viewpoints in the gameplay, but just a fantastic action game. Like, if you guys have never heard of this game, go and look up footage of this. Go try to find this game if you can find it loose, even play it on an emulator, whatever. This is Legendary Axe on the NES, and it is an awesome game. And that cover art, the solid white of that box,
it's the most like 80s cover art there is.
It's fantastic. So they were asking $35, which is below asking on eBay. I mean, it's selling for like $40-$50 on eBay.
Here, I'll be the vendor, and you be you.
Okay, so this is all right. So this is how we're gonna do it. So Sal's got Hello Neighbor, which is $10. Remember,
So this is what I look.
the value of these games
I was right here, just holding.
is $50.
All right, so you want Aston Axe and Pinbot?
So Aston Axe and Pinbot, and he's got cylinder. So this is what we do. All right, so it's Aston Axe and Pinbot. So you want 50.
Yeah, I had 35 on that.
35 and 15, and he. So my son has.
This was $34.
No, it was 10. So my son's got the Hello Neighbor figure for 10.
That's 10.
Yeah, that's 10, and this is 35 and 15. Would you just take 50 for these games, which is the asking that you have on them, and just throw in the Hello Neighbor figure?
I mean, I can't just give you the Funko Pop for like free. You know, like I got to make some money on it.
Yeah, I know.
I wish I could.
That guy had a hard bargain.
I know, but I would have probably asked for less on these. Like,
no, I got you, but I mean, I just can't throw that in for free. I mean, we gotta work something better.
All right, wait. Let's make it this way. I'll give you 40 for the games, and I'll just pay the regular price for the Hello Neighbor figure. Is that okay?
So 40 for the games,
right?
And then 10 for the Funko.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. All right. That was the exact interaction that we had, which is what we call Willimatic math.
Because you told me it after. I was like, oh, so you had to dumb it down for him and just make something up.
It's still $50 for everything.
It's so good.
Anyways, so that was the second major sale, we call it sale of the day.
That guy had a hard bargain.
All right. We're going to take a quick break.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah!
Cool!
Throttle, Vinny, Moto, biker mice on battle bikes with the firepower to stop the evil Plutarchians. And now, make way for Throttle's Blazing Cycle with a blazing back wheel of power. Just pull the ripcord, and the Blazing Cycle goes the distance!
Blaze on, bros.
Blazing Cycle, rock and ride!
The Biker Mice from Mars Blazing Cycle. Additional figures and bikes each sold separately. Batteries not included. New from Galoob.
So that was everything before lunch. Mm-hmm. And then so we got the worst food ever.
It honestly made
I love
me
the
sick to my
pretzel.
stomach.
Oh,
I think that's why I didn't eat as much at Dinosaur Barbecue. I was just sick to my stomach.
We're gonna go on a half hour about the food.
I can't stand when they have something called chicken tenders, but they're actually it's mechanically separated chicken.
It's a long chicken nugget
that's formed into
whatever. They were
tender?
they were the Purdue ones. They put them in an air fryer. They weren't great. The fries, they were like
fine.
Fine, I guess.
The fries were fine. Out of every,
what are you talking about?
the pretzel was just like that average, just like, pull it out of the freezer, put it in the oven,
throw some water on it.
Everyday low price.
Yeah, the everyday low price, exactly.
Well, Daddy, are you talking about Dinosaur Barbecue?
No, we're talking about the food at the convention.
Oh, I really liked
Which,
pretzel.
again, that's another thing. Like,
I was a pretzel master.
I was a pretzel master.
I'm not trying to be a homer, but like, I'm just gonna call it. care about the convention center in Hartford, but they had real chicken there. They had like real stuff. Every year that we've gone, they've had like good food.
Yeah, it's like surprisingly good for like a convention.
It's obnoxious. It is overly priced, but again, it's.
But at least it's good.
At least it's decent, and you don't feel sick after.
No,
I'm willing to pay the ducats. I'm trying to get like good food.
Price. The chicken tenders were the same. Actually, I think they were $1 more in Syracuse than they were at the convention center, and it was.
Yeah, you get those healthy
garbage.
You get those good pieces of chicken in Hartford. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I was surprised. It was surprisingly good at the Retro World Expo. Yeah, the fries and the chicken tenders. But you know, we're not there for the food, so it is what it is. But it is part of the.
But it's part of the.
I know. I understand.
It's part of everything that we were experiencing while we were there.
It was just a lot of average things happening all at once.
Right. So as Trenton says, you know, we're fourth quarter men, and so we really picked it up in the second half in terms of our production.
We got a nice pep talk at halftime.
Yeah, we gotta had that like, you know, arm in arm, like head down, just like side to side, you know, as we were just kind of like trying to get ourselves in position to.
John Starks was really pumping us up.
Perform.
Like, you guys got to get back out there.
Yeah, trying to throw some trays from the outside. So you know we came out of the break, and. Did we start off with a bang, or did we kind of again go back into?
It was you with the figure first, right? At that gentleman, the older gentleman.
Was that the first?
Oh, the guy who was 100.
Well, it was like the younger guy at the booth, but it was. I thought that was the same booth. I don't
know. Well, I guess like the first thing I picked up. So the guy from he worked on a bunch of games, and he had a General Chaos poster. I'm like, oh, you worked on General Chaos? You used to play the game all the time on the Genesis. He's like, yeah. And then he had a poster, and it said General Chaos, like sequel or like 2 or whatever. I was like, they're making another General Chaos. He's like, yeah, and it's everything you would have wanted in the Genesis version, and that's how we're making it. And he had these figures for General Chaos, which I don't think anyone was asking for. But they had them, and it's
of course, if it's nothing that anybody's asking for, Trenton's interested.
I was like, yeah, but it's General Chaos, and so it comes with like the five guys on your team and the general for $20. For that's a cool thing to have.
Yeah,
and they're actually pretty
for a guy who, for part of his living, collects figures in a way.
Yeah,
like you're a figure guy. Like I'm not a figure guy. If I end up with like a Captain America, it's like. It's just like a kind of a weird, you know, little spot thing, but like, or it's like a leftover from him. But you ending up with figures is part of the, you know, sort of part of the plan.
Yeah, but it's General. It's General Chaos. They only made one game, and then like, who has figures of General Chaos?
Nobody.
So yeah, it'll be $20 for the whole set. I was like, yeah, I can't pass that up. When I'm ultimately gonna get General Chaos figures. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So I'll eventually set those up on on a shelf with some of the games. That was actually my first. I was like, well, this is gonna be my only thing of the day, pretty much. I was like, this is the first thing I got.
Would you say you had a tough day?
I don't want to say tough because it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't tough. It wasn't.
Were you experiencing a lot of resistance?
Resistance?
Yeah.
I don't think it was resistance. It was just maybe a little defeated sometimes at certain things I was seeing, and I was just like,
same thing we're talking about though, right?
Yeah, so like what I'm saying is like we're at the point where there's the things we want are fewer and far in between, but even just looking at some of the other stuff that I wasn't even interested in, I'm like, oh, here's Road Rash on 64 or whatever, it's $120. It's like, well, all right, well, no.
Right.
Like, you're just looking at stuff like maybe I would get it, but then it's like,
but who's going to spend that much money on a 64 game that's Road Rash?
I know, but it'd be cool to that's just like a metaphor for a lot of the 64 games or whatever, and it's just like everything's over $100, you know?
Well, that was
for
a
buck
for the day. It was just like
was like that.
What was that, like,
I said it was like a metaphor for the day. Like every vendor was like that with everything.
But I just wasn't finding actually any of the stuff I was looking for. Like that guy that you bought, I think the
Dreamcast.
You bought something from him. He had a copy of Jurassic Park.
Lost World.
It was $80.
The last guy I saw.
It was $80, but the inside of the cart, which is not a big deal because you can get that. It was the inside of the box was missing.
Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, why?
I don't know. We could have worked a deal with it.
It was just like I was like, it was on the list, but it wasn't like I really wanted to pay that.
Jurassic Lost World
for a non-complete good copy.
Yeah.
Wait. Jurassic Lost World
Yeah.
The inner sleeve was not great.
Yeah.
Which you can find otherwise.
Yeah.
Should have told me, man. We would have worked a deal.
I didn't even want to. It was just.
What is that game going for right now? I'm like curious now.
I didn't even think it had the manual, but
it didn't have the manual.
I don't know. I didn't. I just was like, I don't even want to like bother at this point.
I didn't know he had that.
It was. I don't know. I want to say it was from. You got something from him. I thought it was. No, it wasn't the guy you got the.
Don't say anything that I got.
No, I know it wasn't the guy you got your big game from, but it was just like whatever. At that point I just didn't feel like spending, and then I was also you were actually looking. The vendor he had like a box of manuals on like a lower shelf in the bottom.
Oh, that dude.
So I was looking.
I looked up that manual after that later that night.
Oh well, I mean, but that's not the point. So you were like looking through stuff. You pulled out like a Shinobi. And I was like, like I don't have that. It's like I don't have the game right now, but it was like you know you're looking in this bin of manuals that it's just like there's just hundreds of manuals. You're like, all right, well there's no prices on any of them, so it's probably
not.
just
like
not.
He was waiting for people to ask you
where it's like a flat rate like $3 or $5.
So I just figured it'd be like a couple bucks each or whatever, and I was just gonna grab a few. So I had the Turtles for NES, the original one. You pulled out Shinobi and Rock and Roll Racing, but the thing is I couldn't remember if I had the manual for Rock and Roll Racing on Genesis. But I was like, well, if I just get it for like a couple bucks, it's whatever. So I
$37.50 on price starting.
Oh, okay. So I was like, I wanted to get these 3 manuals. And what's the price on that? And then the guy was like, oh, I gotta ask him because he'll just look them up on price charting and it'll be that. And I was like, oh, never mind then. Forget. I don't want to like
screw you.
It's like as soon as I hear price charting, I just go.
If you can't take the time to price it beforehand, it is a flat rate. Period.
Unless it's what I did later in the day.
Figure it out, dude.
Unless it's what I did later in the day.
I know, but we're just talking. But I mean, we're talking about the games. It was just literally a bin of like manuals. Yeah. So it's just like he's like, and I knew it had value, but I figured I was $15 for all 3. I would have done that, but I'm like, he's like price chart. I was like, all right, well then I'm gonna pay $60 for these manuals.
Who needs it then?
So I was
like, you're gonna hold on to that. You're gonna hold on to that manual, buddy.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. I mean,
enjoy your Rock and Roll Racing manual. Hold on to it. Hold it tight as you fall asleep.
It's like how many people
let it comfort and warm you.
It's like
as you fall off into dreamland.
How many people are digging through that bin looking through for Rock and Roll Racing?
Nobody.
I know it's a harder to.
You're looking through the manuals, just seeing if it's something that you need.
Yeah. So it was like whatever.
And everybody's trying to get a deal. You know that. So you're not going to sell it for $37.50, bro.
Yeah. I just kind of cringe a little bit when they're like, all right, I gotta look.
Well, it pisses you off.
I gotta look on my phone first, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
So
it's like the beginning of Ghostbusters where he's trying to do that little thing where he's like, trying to condition them with the zapping.
Yeah, but actually, so
I'll keep your $5.
Yeah, you can keep your $5, Mister. I will.
I'll just do these ones with it because it was on the booth right next to me. So it was weird that this guy had a huge booth, and in the middle he had like a, I don't know the start.
It was weird. He had like Kid Icarus just chilling up there for $250. Where I knocked it down and I knocked it onto the carpet and just like flopped and did like 2 360s.
I was trying to say that.
Not the most efficient setup.
But he had like, what is this? Like this 10-foot Millennium Falcon or whatever.
Yeah, it was the old.
Speak about that, Ryan.
Yeah, it was the old Kenner Toys R Us display from like the 90s.
It's like imagine just like bringing that in just to take up so much retail space when you could just be. I mean, I guess
no one's walking. No one's leaving with that. I'm sorry. Nobody comes to a convention like, let me get a flatbed truck to take a toy Millennium Falcon.
I don't think he was there to sell it. I think he was just there to display it so people would be like, oh, that's cool. And but he just had like a $400 game just like sitting on top of it, and like $300 games like just like
anyone could just open, like you could just go into the case to get them.
Yeah, like anyone could just walk by and just like whoop, just put it right in their pocket and they'd be gone. And it's just like,
well, you'd like to think that we're all.
I don't care who you are. You're not putting a $400 game just like out like on top of a thing and just where anyone can just grab it. You know what I'm saying?
Bunch of Cretan if they're gonna run away.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. You're not just gonna leave a $400 game out. You know what I mean?
You hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Especially if you're not.
It's sad that has to be the case.
Especially when you can't see it from wherever you are, because the guy was just like sitting over here on the side where like. This whole area is blocked off because he's got this 12-foot Millennium Falcon in the way.
So before you get into your game, Sal, you got some Pokemon cards from this guy, right?
Again.
Again.
What do you mean?
Because I get Pokemon cards all the time.
Right. So
yeah, that's what you do.
So you got some Pokemon cards. 99 cents. Ryan, was this a good deal?
Yeah, that's what most places charge for hollows. It's normal.
Okay. So 99 cents, and these are ones that you needed, right? It's not a want, it's a need.
Is it really?
Yes. Yes.
They're all neat.
I got one of these for one of my friends too. He needed a Machamp, and I needed a Machamp.
So we're all champs.
Machamps.
Now, which one are you going to keep? Because one's a hollow, one's a not a hollow.
This one.
You're going to keep the not hollow one?
Yes.
Ryan, is that a smart deal?
I mean, they're both hollow. Actually, it's just hard to see the foil on them because of the way it's done.
You know, they were 99
They're like
cents,
the horizontal.
I mean, I like
striped
this
ones.
picture better.
Yeah, see the foil. It's hard to tell, but they are foil.
I'll take your word for it. Okay.
Should I show these?
So my son, in his innocence and love for his friends, bought one for his buddy, and he's going to give one to his buddy, and that's a good thing. So Machamp is sealed away. We've got Machamp now, and on to the next one, as they say. So Trenton, you were at the same vendor at the same time.
At the same damn time.
And you are an owner of one Atari.
The one Atari Lynx.
Atari portable console that you have now modded.
Yes, I do. Thanks to Marcelo at Crossface Gaming.
Right. Go check them out. And what did you end up with? Because anytime you see Lynx games, you're like, Lynx games?
Yeah.
It's like it's like seeing like a well reservoir in the desert. It's like,
what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Like I mean, I'm glad that you're here. I'm happy to see you, but I wasn't expecting you.
So he had two. They were sealed games.
Nope.
Just sitting on a shelf.
Nope.
No, they were.
The Xenophobe is not.
No, they were.
Sorry.
Shut up.
We're at one point, yeah.
So two Lynx games, and I was just like, well, I don't have either one of these. I mean, it had like written on this $17.50. I'm sure it's not the price because it looked like it was like.
But again, a reasonable vendor.
Yeah. So he had Gates of Zendikon and Xenophobe for the Lynx, and the boxes are a little like. They're a little warped, maybe like some water damage or whatever. But
the Xenophobe picture there in the front, though, is awesome.
Yeah, which when you actually look at the game, it's the complete opposite, kind of. So I just kind of figured, I was like, well, let me see what he wants for him. And then obviously he had to look on his phone, and he went on to price charting, and he was like, he's like, technically it's sealed, but it's not really. So I was expecting him to give me some
gouge you out
crazy price. I was like,
I'll take 80 for it.
I was like, the thing's mangled, and like it's technically not, like the seal was broken on the top.
I mean, let's be honest,
but
it's a little crispy.
Yeah, and the Gates of Zendikon sealed, but they're all a little wavy. So I was expecting him to be like 80 or something ridiculous. But
what would you have paid for these?
What he said.
Okay.
And then if it was any higher, I wouldn't. I would just, whatever. I don't need it.
Well, that's a good deal
then. Yeah. So he gave me both for $20 each, so $40. And Xenophobe's a little bit harder to come across on eBay. Like if you look now, there's one copy like complete, and it's overseas.
Okay.
So it's a little cheaper, but it's still around $50.
Yeah. Was the Lynx like a
right?
big deal in Europe? Because it seems like you see a lot of Australia and a lot of Europe.
I don't think so. I don't think it wasn't a big deal anywhere. I mean, it only sold.
You know what I mean? Like, what was there like a base of operations, a production facility, something where Europe was? Because Epix is a British company.
Oh,
I think.
I just be guessing, but I don't think it was.
Okay.
But yeah, like you go on eBay. There's people just selling like the cart and the manual for like $40 for a Xenophobe.
Because there's such a small market, like they're gonna charge whatever they want for it.
And actually, like I was looking up videos on Zendikon last night. People were like, "This is like my favorite Lynx game. It's like an awesome shooter."
Really?
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, all right." Yeah, Xenophobe. It's weird. It looks like you see the front cover and it looks like Venom. I mean,
Alien.
like Predator, like Alien versus Predator, kind of like that deal. And then
Alien.
And then you look at it's more like cartoony looking. But it's weird with the Lynx. This is a 4-player game too,
which is weird because on the back it says "Leaping Lizards," which is Alien's more like a bug.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a decent game. You're kind of like in one room, and then like you clear out the enemies, and then you go to another room, clear out the enemies. Like you're going room to room.
I mean, that's my kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, for $40, I was like, okay, that was like, those were my only game purchases of the day, were these two right here. Which is fine, but, you know.
It is. I'm glad you ended up with some games.
Which weren't on my list. I mean, obviously, Lynx games are on my list, but wasn't
But that goes without saying.
It's
like anything Jaguar or, you know.
But, yeah. Pretty happy with that, you know.
So, whatever. I think we got to get to the event of the event.
So can I show them these though? I want to.
All right, let's do that first, and then we'll get to the main attraction of the event,
so
which is not totally positive, but it is a thing.
This was the thing that I was.
But let's
stealing.
So I made a trade with my son. I traded love for money.
That's what you always do in this world, baby.
Right. So. My son was looking at. There was a guy who was a Pokemon vendor, pretty much a Pokemon vendor, right?
Mostly cards,
mostly cards, which we saw a lot more of at the show at the World Expo.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the one guy that had like Pokemon exclusively, pretty much. And so, Sal, you had seen a couple of things. You saw, it's like that thing where you have so much money, and you see two things that you really want, and it's like you got to make a decision. And for any of you guys who are dads and you see your son sort of like, okay, waffling between both, knowing he's got to make a decision, which is awesome in and of itself because that means discernment. It means he's actually trying to use judgment to try to figure out, okay, well, what really should I pick up? You know, dad steps in and dad wants to make sure that, we can get some of the things that we're looking for. And so I told him, I said, listen, if the guy had 40 on one, which was Ryan, was a 10-pack?
Yeah, it was what's called an elite trainer box. So it's basically it's like a starter thing they do for each set where you get like a little book about the set, you get 10 packs from it, some sleeves, some play feature stuff, a box to hold all your cards, and some like and a rules book.
Okay.
So it's like a little starter kit.
A starter kit, okay. And then there was the steel book thing, or the steel box one.
Yeah, so that
which was the Mewtwo.
A tin.
Yeah, so it's one of the collector's tin. So they come with like a special promo card, 5 packs, and then usually like some random stuff thrown in.
Okay, so the bigger box was 40, and then he was asking 30 for the other one. And so Sal only had so much money; he didn't have enough to pay for the whole thing. So I said,
20 years later, 20 minutes later.
So I said, listen, let's offer him 60. I'll give you 20, and you do 40, and let's see if he'll take it for 60. And of course, he was nice enough, and he said, you know what, I'll do 60 for both. So Sal ended up with both of those. And then there was another thing that Sal wanted, which was what do you call that pack that Sal got?
Oh, it was one of the 25th anniversary, like the big starter packs that has 3 of the big starter cards and then 2 packs of the 25th celebration set.
Oh, it had 2 packs in it too?
Yeah, 2 of the celebrations packs.
Okay, so he wanted 15. You got it for 12, right? You negotiated. Ryan was gracious to negotiate for 12. So the guy said yes, which he said they retail for about that much anyways?
10 or 12 usually.
Okay. So he probably knew, listen, people are going to haggle me. Let me just do 15 and I'll do 12.
Yeah, it's like he wasn't going to fart over $3.
Right. And the one that Sal picked was the Kanto region, which is the first set, which is usually more sought after than others, right?
Typically, yeah.
And so Sal, show everybody what you ended up with these the large cards, which are kind of like really kind of special because you don't see them all the time.
25th anniversary Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur.
Yes.
The mainstays of Pokemon.
That's right. The OGs, as they say. I mean, it's crazy to think, but I mean, Pokemon at this point is like 25 years old, 26 years old, right, Ryan?
Yeah, 25. It says 25th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got to think, if you were 8 years old, if you were his age when this came out, you'd be 34 years old.
90. It came out in 95.
95, huh?
In Japan.
Right. So, but American kids, 98. 98. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you got to think if if you're an 8-year-old, that's a 32-year-old today, which is a grown man.
A growing.
Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, I was at your store and there were guys talking about Pokemon cards and they worked at like a billiard shop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, grown men coming in to look for Pokemon cards, which might seem silly to a lot of people, but listen, the generation above us, like our like Trenton and I,
They love
like,
sports cards. And,
our dads were they collected cards. They collected Topps baseball cards and
Bowman
baseball cards. We collect video games. Kids younger than us, they collect Pokemon cards. It's just you cannot crap on any of that. That's just how the progression goes. Every generation has their thing. And for a lot of them, for a lot of the younger kids, it's Pokemon. And I would argue that Pokemon has outlasted a lot because it's been around for 25 years, and it's still something that kids that are his age are looking for.
It's gotten more popular.
In a way, right?
I would argue it's more popular than Mario.
You think so?
Oh, without it. I mean, which got a movie first?
That's true. Yeah. Sonic.
Well, Pokemon. Original Pokemon movies like 99.
2000.
Well, 2000. Well, Mario. 99, because the original one's 99. And then
2000.
Well, Mario got the first movie.
Which one?
For me,
a watchable experience.
So what are some of the cards that you got that were like choice cards from? Because you also got the Halloween set.
Oh, yeah, the new Trick or Trade. The Trick or
Trade cards, which you got too, and you got some choice cards from there. So there were 3 cards from that. Where's the other one? Where's the Trick or Trade?
What?
Where's the Trick or Trade card?
Buddy. Neither here nor there.
No, it's okay. It's okay. If you don't have it here,
it's over there.
No, that's fine.
All right, go grab it. It's fine.
It's right there.
All right, go grab it. I mean, it might as well be 5 miles away, but you know what? That's okay. So, there were 2 cards that he got that were from the set that were. What would you call these? Choice cards? I don't know.
Ultra rare and secret rare. He got one of each.
Now, what is a secret rare?
Mad rare.
Those are.
We're learning as we go, guys.
Yeah. So typically, ultra rares are one in I think every 4 packs. Secret rares are usually one in every 32 packs. Or 36.
Okay, so the rainbow one would be a secret rare.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, typically.
Okay. How we doing over there, buddy?
Oh, that's why I said to get it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll continue on with ours while he's finding it.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of blow. Yeah, take all the time.
Oh, do you want to show me your figure? The other one you got, Trent?
Show him the figure that you got from the man who was 100.
I'll just show the last 2 things I got. So. Actually, this was from the same person that you got the
that's right.
Yeah.
The Pokemon cards from. I got this from my girlfriend.
Hold on. Sal's coming back.
I got it.
So we're just gonna get this done and over with. So there were these trick or treat cards that Sal got 10 packs for. Trick or Trade. Sal got 10 packs of them or 12 packs of them for $10, and ended up with this card, which I know that every time he gets a card from this, it's like a big deal. What is that, Sal?
Mewtwo with the pumpkin Pikachu face.
All right.
With a pumpkin head.
Perfect. That's a great one. And then one of the ones you got from your special packs was... This is a...
Gengar VMAX Gigantamax.
What?
It's a Gigantamax.
Gigantamax.
And then what is this one called?
That's the secret
rare.
A secret rare, which is... Greedent. VMAX. Rainbow.
Secret rare.
Looking like the chubbiest Chippendale you've ever seen in your life.
He ain't rescuing anything.
No, he's rescuing the acorns.
Drake's cakes.
So, I think Sal made out there. So, moving on, Trenton, what else did you get?
So from
the same vendor.
Same vendor.
Which is weird because he had Pokemon and then he had just merch.
Yeah, the original merch is there.
Yeah, so I got this for my girlfriend. This is a Friday the 13th mini backpack. We also had
I like how the zipper actually has Jason's face mask on it.
Got a little keychain piece on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he had this Halloween and Nightmare Before Christmas, but the Halloween one it was because it looked like it was just like one like printed graphic on it. It didn't have like the actual material wasn't like the print. It was just like they threw like a sticker on it almost.
Oh, really?
And then this has like the embroidered logo right here.
Why would they do two differently for each one?
Like the Halloween one on this front pocket, it was like a print and then like a print here, and it didn't have like the all over material print. Mm-hmm. It's made in Cambodia, so it's good.
Yeah.
And then,
Communism reigns.
Yeah. And then the last piece I got from the guy who keeps it 100.
Yep.
Well, actually, it wasn't him. There was another guy with him because I was talking to the younger guy.
They were working
He had
together?
a Darby Allin figure, and I wasn't sure if I had it. And I was looking at it. I was like, oh, this is like the first series. I was like, I know I have that one. And he's like, oh, I have some other stuff I didn't like bring. And then he's like, oh, I was like, oh, what other ones do you have? He's like, I got a Roddy Piper, and I was like, oh, which he's like the Legends one, and he pulled it out, and it was the Hollywood Elites, which is Roddy Piper from They Live. The
movie.
Yeah, the John Carpenter movie, which is one I could never find in store. All they had was The Rock and John Cena's, and they were always on clearance. Like, some people would just buy the Roddy Piper one because that was the best one of the set. Like, the John Cena and The Rock, they just were like, they had Black
I gotta
Panther.
watch this movie now.
Oh, it's great. They just
Is it great or is it bad?
No, it's good. I mean,
It's not PG.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
It's a John Carpenter movie I can watch, so there's not a lot of.
I mean, I'm a big The Thing fan.
Well, if you like, I mean, it's a lot more meta.
It
has a lot more commentary in it.
Listen, if it's got Roddy Piper, it's not The Thing. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, I like The Thing.
It's like the 80s, like, cheese a little bit, but it's good.
By the pictures, I can already tell what it is.
He's got his magic sunglasses, so when he puts his sunglasses on, he can see if someone's like an alien or not.
Yeah.
It's
perfect.
great. I mean, it's Piper, you know? And he did really good in the movie. But yeah, this is like iconic Piper figure, and $20, I was fine with that. They're going for like 30 on eBay. I wasn't going to pay 30, but yeah, I'm glad to have this one now. Time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
No, wait, is that what he says?
Yeah, in the movie.
Yeah, it's in the movie.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. His character's not even credited with a name. In the credits, it just says Nada.
Yeah, that's his name, John Nada.
This guy says that line, and then Duke Nukem says it.
That's why I told you. That's where they got it from. This. Because this.
I don't even know how to react right now.
Yeah, he goes into like
he comes in with like a shotgun.
Finance building? Yeah,
he just comes in with the gun. He's like.
Do you have this on DVD?
I do
starts
actually.
Offing people.
He's like,
can I borrow it?
He's like, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Speaking of which, I want to get back into Duke Nukem 3D on Saturn.
Yeah, we played that like a year and a half ago. Like anytime
we're like halfway through. We're like halfway through.
Then we just like stopped.
We're like halfway through. We gotta continue that. I want to watch this movie.
It's good, man.
It's good. All right, so Sal, you want to do your next?
Do you have anything left?
Pick up.
Wait, which Sal are you talking to?
Him.
Oh.
I want to talk about Razor.
Oh God. Okay.
Do we have enough time though?
We'll try to be brief.
Listen, if we got to split this up, we'll split it up. I already
did split it up. This is the third part already.
I mean, like if we got to split it up in terms of like what the release, I don't care, but we'll keep them tantalizing, I guess. Oh, where do we begin? We saw more sealed, graded games. First of all, I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 sealed and graded games in my lifetime. Legitimately, like in person.
Yeah.
I saw 17 times that amount at the show yesterday. And
most at this particular
vendor. And I mean, it was pretty cool to see, but at the same time, it tells you where the market is going, because if people are selling that stuff off, it's telling you that the market is going down.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to unload this stuff before it loses too much value. This guy even had Pokemon cards that were graded, and sealed and all that. Or
it costed so much.
The Rainbow Charizard V Max was $200.
V-Star.
V-Star?
It was V-Star, not even a V. If it was the Rainbow V-Max Charizard for that, I'm like, okay, graded, that's not the worst. But
so wait, V-Max is bigger than V-Star?
No, it's just from the set it was from. So, like, the V-Star's been printed substantially more. So there's a ton of high-grade ones out there right now. They just haven't been graded.
Right.
And this guy was like, oh, this is a 9.4. I'm like, dude, I could go open a pack right now and pull a 9.4. It's not that big a deal. Like, you need to have... There's no rarity there. There's no scarcity of that grade.
Right.
So it doesn't make any sense.
I wonder if I pulled up eBay right now and just went up and just said Rainbow Charizard V-Star, just what we would end up with.
Honestly, you could go on TCG Player right now, buy a few in near mint, and grade them all, and probably get 2 or 3 with his grade, if not higher.
Oh wow!
And spend less money. It was ridiculous. I just couldn't grasp it. Just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So I mean, but at the same time, he had a great setup, and maybe the reason why he had everything that he had was the fact that he maybe had prices that were too high.
More than likely.
So we get we went there once. We kind of saw. We did like a loop in the beginning and saw everything that was there. And then from there, we kind of, after lunchtime, we said, okay, let's get more serious about this. Mm-hmm. And so I had been waffling back and forth on a particular game that I talked about in the preview of the show and what I was looking for. And he had this particular game, no manual, regular release, no variant, and
very regular game.
Well, it's not that it's a very regular game, but just you never see it. So, he had that. He had Jaguar XJ220 on Sega CD, complete in box, not in a great condition, but you know what? To see it at all is something. Trenton, you found Virtua Fighter 2, complete in box.
Yep.
He had. And then, you're just looking, right? You're just like there, you're looking. You see everything. And so he had this one game, Buck Rogers, Countdown to Doomsday, I think, for Sega Genesis. And this dude next to me was like, oh, dude. I mean, he was using way too many expletives. But he was like, dude, this is a great game. Like, it's awesome. Like, if you like Shining Force, you'll love this game. It's awesome. Like, you should buy this game right now. Mm-hmm. Like, and I was like, okay, all right, you sold me. Like, this is a great game, and I love Shining Force, and
and it was one of the things where like, if I can get it cheap enough, sure, give it a shot or whatever.
So the purveyor of the establishment comes over, and we've got
the purveyor.
We're trying to be as nice as we can.
So Trenton has Virtua Fighter 2, which he's got listed for $60 complete.
So I had said to him first, I was like, because we were looking at prices or whatever, right. And I was like, he's like, oh, I'm flexible on prices. I'm like, well, I'm like, the most it's going for right now on eBay is around 40, 45. I was like, I would do 40. And then he was like, then he came back for 45. And then you said, well, I got some stuff over here. Maybe we can put it together. And he was like, okay. And then that's where your journey begins.
So my journey begins with me saying, hey, just to let you know right off the bat, like, I'm not paying $60 for this game.
It was a little aggressive.
Which was a little aggressive. I should not have come in that strong. So I will own that piece.
And then...
But he made a joke out of it and said, okay, that's fine. You could be a little bit more subtle about it.
Yeah, he's like, you don't have to be so loud. Like, not loud as in your voice, but just the way you said it.
Right. So I thought that was a way to diffuse it, and I'm like, yeah, I get that. And then he just lost it.
Well, I mean, lost not in like went off the deep end, but it got a little aggressive.
Right. So I was holding at the time. Buck Rogers, Jaguar XJ220, and Ride and Tread. Mm-hmm. And so all told, he wanted about $200 for all three of those.
And then plus if we threw Virtua Fighter.
Plus Virtua Fighter, which would have been $260. Mm-hmm. So we didn't even get to the point where we were able to negotiate because I said, hey man, I'm not paying $60 for Buck Rogers. Can you do better? And then he just proceeded,
and then he whipped out the phone
to look up prices and saw the last price it went for was like 25 and change, but the price before that was 60. However, the most recent listings are for $45 and change complete.
Yeah, one was 45 shipped, like right. $44.99. Yeah.
And he proceeded to say, listen, the last sold was 60. The last before the one you saw was 60. It's 60 all day, bro.
And then he proceeded to go like this with his phone in our faces. I'm like, first of all, you're getting close to battery here, dude. You might want to calm down.
Well, it's assault, definitely.
Yeah. Like, ease off, dude. You're about to hit us, like, with your phone. Like, calm down, dude.
So what happened? Well, we were arguing about a price on a video game.
And then he proceeded to smack us with his cellular device. I don't know.
So I was kind of like jaw agape, just like I can't believe this is happening right now. And again, I am a party to this event, so I am responsible for a portion of it because of the way I reacted. So I will own that.
I was pretty much just sitting back watching this kind of devolve, and I was just like, okay.
It informed me a little bit about maybe how I should approach an event, knowing that somebody might have a price a little too high. So there were multiple events in the day that kind of informed me on that. But this guy just went off the deep end in a way, and you were like, dude, it's not even worth giving a person like that your money. So it worked into something else. So that was the kind of like the big like aha moment of the day, which, you know what? Keep your sealed games, bro. You know, keep all your stuff. Hold on to all your stuff as long as you can. Try to get the price that you want. You know, I'm sure in some planet at some time, not here, you will get the price that you want.
Or maybe you can use them as a blanket when you're on the side of the road. But I mean, that's you. That's living your truth.
Correct.
Have fun, you know.
It's living.
Correct. You went a little too far overboard. I was party to that. I will take responsibility for that.
But that's why after I literally went, dude, 2 listings on eBay, 45 right now, and 35. It's like, we'll just buy it on there. Give someone else who's not screaming at us currently, like a 5-year-old,
right?
Or sorry, correction, who's worse behaved than the 8-year-old he was cussing in front of. We'll give them our money rather than this person who's clearly not stable and can't hold a solid conversation. Granted, like you said, it's like nobody's perfect, but he's not 12. He's not. I'll even give a young adult a pass on it. But this man was well into his 30s, and he decided that was the way to conduct himself. So that's on him too. And at that point, I just looked at you and like, dude, let's just get out of here. This isn't worth it. Like, it's not worth your anxiety level. It's not worth him hearing that. Let's just go.
You can enjoy your cartridges galore, buddy.
Sir.
By the way, the Pokemon Charizard V-Star going anywhere between, you ready for this? $25 to $115.
Yeah, and I bet
he had 25. He had 200 on it.
Yeah, and I bet you if you go on TCG, you could probably get them for like 50, 55 and get 10 of them. Or sorry, you can get 4 of them for what he was charging and get multiples at the grade he had them at.
Right.
So it's like,
how much does it cost to grade a card?
Depends on the company, but usually like certain companies.
WATA?
No, I would never. I wouldn't send my fossilized poop to WATA, but regardless.
Doesn't PSA do the card grading?
PSA does, Beckett does, CGC
Beckett
does.
Like Beckett? Like,
yeah.
Back in the day, Beckett?
Yeah.
I think PSA is the one more people go to.
I don't like PSA. I find their cases kind of garbage, but...
No. I don't know. I've never even
They've been around longer, I guess, but like my whole thing with like... It's like, you could send it to whoever. It doesn't matter, but... They usually charge based on like what the average sale is. So like if it's a $200 card, they usually charge you like 10% or 15% of the value or whatever, which makes sense. That's how you keep your business. But I know like some companies, if you send them enough stuff, they'll like flat rate it. So if I sent like 100 or 200 cards in to get graded, they do like $7 a card or $8.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, it's volume for them, so they're still making the money off of it.
Right.
You know?
It's literally no extra work. No, what the price of the card is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So.
Cool. So
cool.
The thing about that is that, you know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And so I didn't talk about this on the preview, but I did have some trade bait. Taking a cue from Trenton here, which I wasn't even thinking of before. I was looking over my set and I said, you know what, is there anything that I really don't need and I don't want and I really don't plan on playing? And so I had a game that I was playing that I had received and gotten probably a couple of years ago that was, you know, I got locally. I thought it was supposed to be a pretty good slash 'em up type of a game and beat 'em up type of a game. And I played it and realized that it wasn't really for me, to put it lightly. So I said, you know what? Let me see what I can do with this. The game is Legend for Super Nintendo. Loose, right? No cart, no manual, anything like that. Loose, it's going for between $120 and $160. So I had gone over to this vendor probably 3 times previously, and I had seen this game. Trenton, you found it first. Again,
yeah.
We're talking about Ride and Trad. And Ride and Trad for Genesis is a game that had a red variant cover that was done after the original printing because they wanted people to see a cover of what they felt was what the game represented more so than what the original cover was. And so this gentleman had it. He had it for a price that was
So I never knew. Is that
much too high.
That's got to be like the only
for.
game on the Genesis that has like a variant cover, right? Like that re-released.
It's interesting that you say that. I can't think of any other game that has a variant cover.
It wasn't really a thing back then, you know.
No.
For any system.
Nope.
Like, you know, back then.
And they did originally include a little letter, which did not come with. So I'll show you the game and then I'll tell the little bit of a story with it. But the game is Raidentrad or Raidentrad, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And this is the variant cover, which is one that I've talked about, it feels like now, for at least a few years. And I can't believe that it's in my possession at this point. Like, it actually is here, which is pretty awesome.
It feels like that be, like, honestly, that feels like, in price-wise, it probably doesn't reflect it. That feels like it's got to be, like, a super rare game.
You think the variant?
Yeah, like a variant.
I mean, the game in and of itself is rare.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder. We'll call on.
Have you ever gotten this in?
I'm not saying the value reflects it, but
have you ever gotten this in?
Not that version.
No,
I would say it's. I actually, you know what? I'll admit, yeah, rare. I'll go rare.
I'll go rare.
Well, no, just because I'm looking at the listings on eBay. There's only 3 currently, so yeah, I'll give it rare.
So, you know, this guy had it for $224. If you can see that. Now, it doesn't include the letter, which there's a letter that says why they changed the cover art. The cart itself is not perfect.
It's the same cart? They didn't
same
change
cart,
the cart,
same manual. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like Thunder Force 2, where the
Thunder Force 2? Why?
Thunder Force 2, I don't know if it's the European or the Japanese cover art, but it's different.
I'm just talking about like a U.S. release.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me see this.
Or how about we don't?
Yeah, we can just keep going.
No, because there's with Thunder Force 2, it could be the American. Yes, so the American cover art. This is what it looks like.
Yeah, I showed it on the podcast earlier.
But the cart and manual is that
the Japanese cover art,
which is the Japanese cover art, right?
Oh, I gotcha.
So they kind of did a similar thing, but they actually had the regular release for Raidentrad. This one again doesn't have the letter saying why they did the re-release, and you know the manual has a little bit of water damage and the cart is not perfect. So I was thinking that, you know, anywhere between 100 and the cover art actually has a little bit of a rip in the. But
you have the cart already, so you could just switch it out, right?
I have, and then my cart is in worse shape than this one is.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Jeez.
But you know, I was thinking anywhere between 160 and 180 for this specific copy. You know, 180 is fine. I had this copy of Legend, and I asked them. I said, "Hey, listen, would you mind doing a trade? Are you willing to do a trade?" And he said, "Yeah, we do trades." He said, "But it better be a pretty good game." And so I said, it's a choice game. It is rare. You know, I said the game is Legend. It goes anywhere between 120 and 160 online right now. I'm not expecting that value. I said, but you know, I'd like to trade that in for this Raidentrad.
A credit, yeah.
A credit for it. And so he goes back. He's looking. I can tell he's looking online. It's that moment where you're.
It's like, come on, man.
You're think like people are talking around you. You're having a conversation with me. Liz is having a conversation with me. But all my brain is thinking is, what is in his head about what is going on with
what's a fair price,
right? So he comes back and he says, "All right, so what do you want to do? Like what do
you want for it?" He said.
What do you want for it? And I basically told him, I said, listen, I know that it's 120 to 160. I'm not expecting that, but your copy isn't perfect as well. How about I give you Legend and I pay you $80 for Raidentrad? And based on his reaction, I probably could have gone a little bit less, but I'm okay with that. He was like, immediately, he was like, yeah, that's fair.
Because he's like, I've had this copy for 2 years.
He said, I've had this copy for 2 years, and I can sell Super Nintendo games way faster.
Yeah.
Which to me is interesting because you can sell loose Super Nintendo games faster, but you, me, Trenton, and a lamppost, we love getting Genesis games complete.
Yeah, but
I mean, you're talking about a niche of a niche for like that copy. You know what I'm saying?
And even though Legends,
my son loves
still
Ride and
says
Tread
Nintendo
though.
on the card.
I know, but you're looking for the variant of a thing, and it's a $200 game. You know, so it's a higher price game, and the person that's looking for it is usually probably someone who needs a full collection of everything or is huge into it, which is not that many. You know. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's a fair deal.
Of Legend was immaculate. Like, it was near mint.
In good shape.
Yeah. The cartridge. So he knew he
I feel like it was a good deal.
Oh, he made out because that cart, he'll sell that for max. So like
he'll make $150 off of that.
I would say probably one.
Plus he got the $80 from me.
Yeah, plus $80 from you. So it's like he made out. He's a game he probably paid. If he's had it for 2 years, he got it pre-COVID. Boom. Which means he probably paid, and this is just going from my own margins and ratios and what I'm assuming he would be because it looked like he was a store.
$40 for it.
He has a store.
So
he has a store up. He has a store up in Central New York.
He probably paid about a little over $100 for it. So it's like, okay, dude, you just got basically what all your entire investment in, plus a game you're gonna dump for over $100 for $20.
Right.
So you're good.
So he'll make $150-$170.
So he was happy with it.
I mean, assuming he got it, or got it in like a big lot of games.
Well, yeah, so that's if he paid individually priced that lot out. Who knows? He could have got it in like a bulk lot and got it cheaper. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, suffice it to say,
you both worked out because you were never. Yeah. It's like my Final Fight 3.
Right.
Like, you were never gonna play Legend anyway. Mm-hmm. You didn't pay that. You didn't.
I paid $40 for it.
Yeah. So it worked out. Yeah.
So like I felt like a kid in a candy store. I feel like.
Yeah, that was like me with my Final Fight trade to get Fight for Life and the other games.
I got Ride and Tread finally complete in box.
The
variant copy, which is even better. Like initially, I was like, "Oh man, maybe I'll just go for the regular copy and find a manual," because that copy that was $80, that was the regular Ride and Tread, didn't have a manual in it. So I'd have to look for a manual. But this one has it.
Mind you, the manual is half of the value of that cart, or the CIB version of that regular game.
Is it really?
I looked it up online. Like, the manuals sell for $40. So it's like, okay, dude, you're charging $87 without the manual, and you're like, oh, well, it retails for $87 with the manual. With the manual, it goes for that. You don't have that, dude.
I can't tell you. Like, this is my game of the show. Like, this is my game of the show. Like, it is a phenomenal shooter, and I love shooters. And it's next to Layer Section, Galactic Attack. This is probably my second favorite shooter of all time, and this guy loves it. I love it, and I'm just so glad that we finally could get it in the collection. And the fact that we made a trade for it makes it that much better.
With someone who at first
reasonable,
was a little standoffish, but like once you talked to him and you had a nice, pleasant conversation between two adults,
he thought I was a reseller.
Initially, yeah, he said, "Oh yeah, I know your vendor." You're like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah,
and it's like. Well, it's probably because he heard me talking, because I was mentioning how, like, I know these prices because, again, I do this
maybe he heard you
single
talking,
day. So it's like, I know that you're where you are, dude. And it's like, but the thing is, it's like, as long as he approached it like, hey, like, all right, man, I get it. Like, let's try to figure this out. And he, like, once he looked back and knew you weren't trying to swindle him and was like, oh, wow, this is actually an expensive game. And, like, now let me see what he's looking at. And once you said that number, he was immediately like, wow, this guy's fair.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he was so pleasant after that. Because once you guys made the deal, like, you were chatting for a while, he was such a nice guy. It's like, as long as you're genuine and mostly polite, it's fine. But that, like,
I think
a lot of the vendors were so, like, tight about everything. It's just like...
Yeah, the Galore guy informed me about how I should have that conversation with this other guy. So it just worked out. Everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out. Essentially is what happened. So
we all happy, baby.
Yeah. So I can't be happier with this pickup. So, anyways, that's probably more conversation about Ride and Tread that anybody's ever had. But
true,
it is a special game. I mean, Trent, you can agree. I mean, you've got a Jaguar, you've got Ride and Tread, or you have a riding on Jaguar. You know how special this game is.
I understand.
Right. Yeah, let's get to your last pickups because we're running. 3 hours?
We're doing a 3-hour show here.
The people can wait. So, at this point, this kid is about had it.
I felt bad.
I know. This kid is about had it. So my wife was generous and kind enough to say, "Listen, I'll take him back." We checked out some of the computers. That's another thing is where they got you on.
The vintage computers
is
were
on the
amazing.
vintage computer game because they got you guys on that.
They had a laughable arcade, but yes, they had vintage computers.
The vintage computers were wild. Dude, Wolfenstein. I don't know what it is about Wolfenstein, but it's like it's one of those things where like I can't help myself. Like I just want it. Like I've got.
It's just playing it on the computer with the clicky clack of the keyboard. And
have you
the
played
mouse.
it on Jaguar?
Yeah, no, it's great on the Jaguar.
I need to have it on the 3DO. I know you got the Jaguar. I'm a 3DO guy. More, that we can be both sides. Like, I want that thing on the 3DO. I want to play it on the 3DO. It's like $1 million on the 3. I think it's like $200.
Yikes!
Do you still have that copy of Killing Time?
I don't think so.
So
just hurry up.
They go back. We checked out the computers. Wolfenstein. That stuff was awesome. Need a copy of Wolfenstein. So we had a couple of minutes to go. And now, did you pick these up before?
This is all before the convention. We could talk in another episode.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can talk about that. We'll see. So I've had a copy of BattleTanks Global Assault Manual for a while. I was able to pick up this BattleTanks Global Assault cart,
the green cart. So
I need a case, but this is one of those deep cut games. One of the things I mentioned on the podcast that I wanted, I don't need that many Dreamcast games. But this is one of them, and it's just weird how I passed this guy probably 3 times, and even he didn't know like what he had for Dreamcast. He's like, I don't know.
Stacked so you could barely see the.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even know much about Dreamcast, but I have these games, and I noticed it, and it was one of the ones that you had for like I said, maybe $40-$50, and you're like, hey, do you want it? I'll hold it for you, and I was like, not really. So I ended up getting this for $70, and that is Record of Lotus War, which is a Diablo clone, and yeah,
you'll love Diablo. You'll love this one.
Yeah, that's basically what it says on the game. So I don't get many Dreamcast games anymore, and so this is one of them. So I'm excited about. This is a Crave game.
Yeah, you're like looking at it. I'm like, dude, don't ask me about it because I've never heard of it or seen it or know anything about it.
Very, very nice seller. Like I said,
really nice guy.
We may be poo-pooing a lot on certain people, like unfortunately the majority, but like there were some very sweet people. That guy had his wife and his daughter there, and they were all very nice and kind and polite, and it's just unfortunate that that's not the norm. That seems to be the exception, which is disappointing because it's like
these guys are gonna rue the day, though. I'm telling you, they're gonna pay for it.
It's not hard to just show that kindness and give that hand, and even if somebody might come at you a little bit initially, you'd be surprised what a little bit of a kind attitude can do to really make that more of a connection.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you. And he was really nice, and he made a deal with me. I got the BattleTanks and the Record of Lotus War for $80 total, which really worked out. So, I'm excited about that. So, all in all, I think it was a good show. It also just shows, though, that these sellers are hurting. They're trying to hold on. And as buyers, we can't let them do that. We've got to be able to stick to our guns. Don't buy on emotion. Don't buy something just because you see it.
Take
your time.
That as the buyer, you have the power. You can. Tell
you don't have to buy it. They got to make you. They got to
tell these sellers,
make you
you're
buy.
not the only one with this. I can go somewhere else. You want the money? You got to work for it.
Got work for it, honey.
So you have to provide, as a seller, you have to provide that positive experience for the consumer. And you can tell the sellers that do and the ones that don't, because the ones that do, they get the repeat business. The ones that don't. So it's always about making that positive experience, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. Trent, any parting thoughts?
No. No, I mean, we did kind of rag on it a little bit, but I mean, overall, it was still fun. It was still fun.
It was a great time. It was a great road trip. I mean, anytime you can be in the car and just...
I didn't like the road
trip. We had more Ghostbusters talk on the way home.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
Than you would ever expect to have with anybody. So that in and of itself, and just taking a road trip is just such an experience. And
us all getting to goof off was fun.
Yeah, so it was an awesome time. So if you ever get the chance to take a road trip to a show or something like that, that's a few hours away. I encourage you guys to do it. You know, it was a lot of fun, and then we ended up with some cool stuff and had some stories to tell. So, yeah, I mean, we'll come back before the end of the new year. We're definitely going to have a Christmas wrap up. We're probably going to have another episode before the end of the year. I would love to, I'd love to do a Streets of Rage episode at some point. So,
already did one.
You know, if we can try to make that happen at some point, you know, that would be kind of cool. I know that's a bigger undertaking, but. You know, let us know what you guys want. I mean, you know, send us a message on Instagram with the Turbo Duo Cast. Send us an email, the turboduocast@gmail.com.
Some mail to the P.O. box. You know, whatever works.
Let us know what you guys want. I mean, there's some choice cuts here that we haven't gotten into yet. We've kind of dabbled. We've gone with some of that second tier stuff, but. You know, I'd love to be able to hit some of the things that you guys are looking for. So, you know, let us know. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to us yet, because
Click
that's
the bell.
You know, that way you can get the notifications when we do drop new episodes. You know, this is a community. This is what it's all about. It's all about people coming together and talking about old games, because that's the stuff that we lived through as kids, and in a simpler time when we were all together, just kind of like enjoying this stuff without judgment, without anything other than the game. And that's what it's all about.
Value.
All it is the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. And so, you know, we love Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and I'll leave it at that. But with that, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks for outlasting this whole video. I know it's been almost 3 hours here, so thanks for keeping on with us. And like I said, let us know if there's anything you're looking for. And with that, remember that everything that's positive goes from above. Be safe, be happy, be healthy, and as always,
it's dead, Daddy.
Keep it turbo.
Nothing's over.